Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens one on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 766. Holy cow, they are stacking up. Got a great night ahead for us. God, I really respect another fellow YouTuber that puts out, in my opinion, some very quality content. And I got a lot of love for you, my friend. How you doing? You want to remind everybody how you're doing and where they can find you?
I am chilling, man. I want to tell you, thanks for having a motherfucker on right now, man. I highly, highly appreciate it. No pun intended. but yeah, man, I'm chilling. My name is CannaMink. Eagle always puts minks for some reason with an X. I don't know. He wants me to be minks.
It's even in the title. Holy shit.
right, right. It's
I'll
cool. Play
fix it.
fuck
I'll
up.
fix
I'm
it.
trying to see if I can find. Oh, there's the chat. Okay, there we go. There we go. I want to see the chatting up in this motherfucker. But yeah, man. So I mean, you guys can find me on IG at official CannaMink, and I had to put official because some dipshit took the original CannaMink when they saw my channel was gaining traction. So that person has all of my real followers, to be honest with you. Sucks donkey balls, big hairy donkey balls, but you got to just keep going. And what they do is they'll take your name and then sell it back to you. What kind of bullshit is that? Got to buy my own shit. And these motherfuckers just got a happy face, no post, no nothing. They just waiting for me to approach them and say, "Hey, can I have my fucking name back?" And they gonna charge me for it. So I said, "Fuck them," and put official on that bitch. But that's where you can find me. But on YouTube, they couldn't get a motherfucker there. So if you put in CannaMink, you'll see me over on YouTube, chilling, doing my thing. The channel's actually way different now on my channel. Shout out to the chat real quick. Shout out to the chat. Got martial artists up in this motherfucker. Got Matt up in this bitch. See some people up in here, man. I see some people up in here. But yeah, man, the channel has changed. Big, big time. Big, 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 big time. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. Uh
Hmm.
I'll tell you straight out. I erased everything on my channel that has anything to do with cannabis, dog.
Really?
Yep.
Do
Everything.
do tell. One then man, this kind of hits home. There's a lot of angst in the YouTube creator community, I think, a little bit. Well, why
Yeah, it
for?
is. Um, for me, man, it's like a million quadrillion reasons, dude. They all like piled up, right? You ever see somebody get out of a relationship and you be like, "So what happened?" And it's like, motherfucker, that ain't a one sentence answer, right? You're like, it's a gang of shit that compiled on top of each other to make you make a decision, right? And that's what I had to do as far as my channel was concerned. Uh, I'll start with the first part of it. Creating cannabis content was not serving my purpose at all. It didn't go toward my goals of what I'm working to do and who I want to be. Right now, I still consume. Don't get me wrong. It ain't fucking with my shit like that. But creating the content has zero to do with what my actual goal and purpose is. You know, my channel was a whole lot about motivation, right? And the reason why I talk a lot of motivation on my channel is because I used to work in a dispensary. One of the most common things I saw was people coming in saying that they were smoking for depression and anxiety and then physical issues. And so when I'm hearing that, I thought to myself, well, I know you don't think you got anxiety because your body doesn't have THC. I know you don't think you're depressed because your body doesn't have THC. For most body issues or pains, I know you don't think that that's there because of THC, right? Like, because I don't have no THC, so my knee is hurting. No, your knee is hurting because you're fucking 40 pounds over motherfucking weight. You don't take care of your goddamn self. That's why your knee hurts, right? So when I looked at this as a whole, I said to myself, I was like, man, this community needs help, god damn it. And I didn't see no one really trying to help these motherfuckers and motherfuckers. So I stepped up to the plate. And a lot of people don't agree with some of the shit I say. Like a lot of people, they'll see a video I put up and they never go back to it, right? But I have to go back to the comments that I see that pop up. And a lot of people, they go against a lot of the things that I say, which is fine, right? Not everybody is looking for truth. Not everybody is looking to understand themselves more. So I get that. Another reason why, and I'll go back to that later, but another reason why I cut my shit out was because most of my cannabis stuff up until recently was recreational. It was reviews of fucking, vapes and cartridges and edibles and bullshit like that, because I was working at the dispensary. So motherfuckers was giving me shit all day long. So I was like, cool, got some content, motherfucker. So I started doing content on it, right? Every time a representative would come in, I would like throw it in conversation. Be like, yeah, I'm a cannabis YouTuber and all. They'd be like, oh, you got a channel, bro? Oh man, let me hook you up. So they would hook me up with shit, right? So I would do reviews about it. So my shit was more so in the recreational. And then I got tired of recreational and started not doing grow content, but sharing my grow journey with people. You've seen my grows. I'm not the one to give advice to motherfuckers, right? I'm more so of a don't do what Mink did and your plants might survive. So I wasn't the one giving information, right? And so in a recreational setting, I'm the type that I look at my analytics on YouTube and it shows me the age of people who are looking at my videos. And these people were like 25 roughly to 35. But then I look at the comments. At the beginning of my videos, it says, if you're under 18, get the fuck out of here. And it sings that chant, right? I get hundreds of comments of motherfuckers saying, yeah, I'm 16 while the algorithm thinks I'm 21, or why Gmail, because what they're doing is putting in a fake birthday on the Gmail account. So now they have open access to YouTube. These is kids. So I realized that a lot of these recreational videos I was putting up was going toward children, plain and simple, right? And one thing that came to me, it stuck out to me and it stood out to me my whole life. Back when I was a teenager, man, I grew up in church. So I grew up in church in LA. So churches in LA, especially, but I don't know how they are now because I don't fucking go to church, but from 2000 and below, churches in LA, like the ones that I was at, I was a musician at a very, very large church. I'm talking 25,000 members plus, right? It was like going to a nightclub and all the celebrities are there. So anytime a celebrity came in town, pretty much, they would stop by the church that I went to. And we would do little collaborations with other churches. And we went to a church called Greater Bethany. And all these celebrities were in the back. I'm back there trying to meet as many people as I can. I'm a fucking kid. I'm a teenager. And Friday, that movie Friday with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker and shit, right? They were either part 2 was out or it was about to come, like they were working on it. It was somewhere in that phase. I don't remember where they were in production with the movie. What I do remember, though, is in the back, Chris Tucker was back there. And someone asked Chris Tucker, they said, hey, man, are you, they either said, how come you aren't in Friday part 2 or are you going to be part of it? It was one of those type of questions. I don't remember 100% what they said, but it was part of those questions. It was a question like that. And I'll never forget, he turned around and he looked at everybody because the room got quiet. It was fucking crickets in that bitch because everybody wanted to hear like, oh shit, is Chris Tucker going to do this shit? And if you guys don't know, Chris Tucker played Smokey in this shit. He was a big time weed smoker, blah, 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 right? Also a low level weed dealer. That was kind of the premise of the movie, was a shitty drug dealer that couldn't sell weed properly because he smoked all his shit, right? And this motherfucker, he turned around and he looks at me and he was like, man, y'all see this kid right here? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I had kids his age, man, walking up to me on the street talking about, let's smoke weed, Smokey. And he like, what? I don't even do that shit. And I do smoke weed. So that's the difference between he and I. But the point was that he saw the effect of what he was doing and how it was coming back. And he wasn't looking for that shit. He didn't want little kids coming up to him trying to smoke weed with him. And so when I'm looking on my shit and it's recreation and I'm seeing all these motherfucking kids on there, I'm like, wait a second. And then on top of that, I got all these kids asking me, well, how can I get higher? Fuck, I'm 40 years old. I didn't walk around for 40 years to tell you how to be high. I've worked too hard for 40 years for that to be what my outcome was to talk to you about being high. And I'm not talking about people who are giving grow information. There's a huge difference in that type of content, in my personal opinion. But when it comes to recreational, that's not what I can do. I can't do it anymore because it doesn't serve my purpose of what I'm trying to do. And when I look at a lot of the recreational cannabis content creators, okay, I come from doing training, a personal trainer. I was a personal trainer for 15 years and a biometric health screener for like 4, right? So imagine I met you in the gym and I started giving you some debonk, some fucking steroids. But I never talked to you about the side effects of steroids if you don't take them properly. You can take steroids properly and be healthy and live and all that shit. But if I didn't tell you how to do it properly, I'd be a fucking asshole, right? And I always say I'm an asshole, but I'm not a fucking asshole. And when I look at the recreational content that's created, ain't nobody talking to these motherfuckers about the real side effects. And I know everybody says weed is perfect and it has no side effects, but I'm gonna be real. I don't subscribe to that bullshit because it's not true. It does have side effects. And it's not from the side effect stance of you look like a crackhead. So people think side effects are only bad if you look like a crackhead, right? But I don't think that way. How the fuck am I gonna get water? Okay, here we go. We got all these cords. Sorry. I don't agree with that. One side effect, I'll just start with a very obvious one. Financial. Right? Most motherfuckers don't have the money to be smoking. How you got a part-time job, but you a full-time smoker, motherfucker? Shit don't even add up. Right? So you got motherfuckers that's using their money that should be going for other places. They full-time smokers, no savings account. They full-time smokers with kids. They have no kind of investment account for their children. They don't even have investments for themselves. But yet all they do is fucking smoke weed. I'm not about to sit here and encourage little motherfuckers to be growing up like that. Because I've grown up with a lack of financial literacy in my household, right? I grew up with habits of putting money other places. How you got bills that ain't paid, but you still got weed? How you high right now with a bill that's due and it ain't paid? And so I start looking at that type of shit. I start listening to a lot of motherfuckers talk about depression and anxiety. I feel like a lot of motherfuckers is confusing marijuana withdrawals with depression and anxiety. You're not depressed. You don't have anxiety. You're going through withdrawals. That's why when you smoke, the shit goes away sometime. And this ain't for everybody. This is for a certain group of people. And when I say these things, I always say on my channel, do your best not to respond to how what I said made you feel, but actually respond to what's being said. So I'm not saying this is a one size fits all. I'm not saying every weed smoker's broke, goddammit, right? I'm not saying every weed smoker's life is a piece of shit. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there's a huge fucking group of people that consume cannabis all the time where their lives are fucked up, dude. And they're using cannabis to put a rug over a hole that's in the floor. And then I look at the shit like most of us I started smoking weed when I was fucking 12, 13. I was a teeny bopper. Ain't no way. And most of us started at young ages. And so if you just started, last year, clearly I'm not fucking talking. But a lot of us started as teenagers, which means that we weren't fully educated on what it was we were doing. Back when I was 12, there wasn't no fucking YouTube. There wasn't no Google, right? I couldn't go and look up about no fucking CB1 and CB2 receptors and shit, right? And most people's education on cannabis stops there. You start talking to them about fucking dopamine. Motherfuckers don't know what the fuck I'm talking about now. Like, I don't smoke dope. No, dopamine, motherfucker. And what happens is when you're smoking weed like that, motherfuckers wonder why they not feeling inspired. Because when you smoke weed, it releases a high amount of dopamine that taps into your reward system. So you feel rewarded by what it is you're doing to make you feel you accomplished something. But now you've just depleted all of that shit on smoking weed. So now when it comes time for you to create content. You know how many motherfuckers I have come on my shit and say they want to start a YouTube channel and they won't? You know how many motherfuckers want to be writers, but they ain't got no fucking pencils in their hand, right? All the motherfuckers want to get in shape, but they too fucking lazy to go to the gym. The reason why is because you've depleted your dopamine. I had started a thing back in the day where I was saying, you know what? I'm going to stop smoking weed when I first wake up. And I'm going to wait until I accomplish and complete all of the tasks that I have to do for the day. And at first I thought I was using it like a carrot in front of a fucking donkey. Like, oh man, I'm going to get this shit down so I can smoke that joint, motherfucker. That's what I thought I was doing. So then I started doing research. Why does that shit work? Excuse me. And that's when I realized it's that dopamine. You're not depleting your dopamine. And there's scientific studies that show that cannabis consumers have a lower amount of natural dopamine, right? And so when I started looking at these things and I was like, damn, this is interesting. When I look around the cannabis industry and see how many people are not inspired. Not everybody can be Snoop Dogg, right? Not everybody can smoke weed all day and still be worth 200 million. It ain't like that for everybody. And a lot of motherfuckers aren't honest with themselves to say that. They want to act like they Superman. You know how humans are. We act like we can take a lot of drinks. We can take all the drugs and nothing affects us. Motherfucker, we act like we don't sleep. Remember back in the day when you would call a motherfucker on his house phone back in the day? And it'll be one of your homies and he, hello? You like, what's up, man? You sleep? Nah, I'm up. I'm up. Motherfucker, you ain't up. You sleep. We got this thing of trying to be tough and shit, right? And that's when it comes to weed. We act like, nah, weed ain't affecting nothing. Well, being a real man or a real woman is being able to look at yourself and tell the truth. Being able to consume a lot of substances that alter who you are, that doesn't make you a man. That doesn't make you a woman. It makes you a fucking idiot when you're not willing to be honest of the effects that has on you, right? So there's certain things I know I won't do after I've had a drink, right? So like, let's say with me, I carry a gun on me most of the time when I go out in public, right? But I'm not going to drink at home and then put the gun on my hip and go out, knowing that there's a huge possibility I could shoot a motherfucker due to alcohol in my system. So certain things I just won't do. I won't put myself in certain positions because I'm honest with myself, right? And then I also look at like when I was growing up, and I don't want to encourage young people to do this. When I was growing up, I avoided any fucking career that drug tested. So we got a lot of Amazon drivers and fucking Walmart employees that really should probably be doctors and lawyers and fucking oceanographers and shit, marine biologists. We got people because cannabis consumers are smart motherfuckers, plain and simple. Like, I mean, you got some dipshits that make us look bad, but for the most part, we got some pretty smart fuckers and, motherfuckers running around in our community. And we suppressed our greatness because we couldn't fucking pass a drug test. I used to get a lot of my content from cannabis Facebook groups. I would look at their dumbass comments and then make videos about it. Like, y'all motherfuckers are stupid. A motherfucker go on the group and say, hey man, I got a job test, a job coming up and I got a drug test for this new job. And motherfuckers will give you 1,000 comments except for stop smoking. They'll tell you everything else to do. Oh, fuck that. Why is it that the jobs are tripping anyway? It's legal now, man. Well, I hate to break it to you. I don't give a fuck if cannabis is legal or not. If I own a company and I have insurance for my company and you get hurt, my job is to not pay you. I'm not trying to pay you money because you hurt. So I'm gonna prove every way under the sun to say that you fucked this up on your own. So if I gotta use cannabis to prove my point, goddamn it, fuck that shit. I'm using cannabis to prove my fucking point, right? If I was in a car right now and someone hit me head on and I'm watching this person smoking a blunt while they driving, you think I'm not gonna bring that shit up in court? Yes, and I will smoke before I go to court and after. But my job is to get paid. And so you got to think as a company, they have insurance. The insurance company doesn't allow certain things, just like some homeowners insurance won't allow you to have big breed dogs like pit bulls and Rottweilers. That's how insurance works. It has nothing to do with something being wrong. It has something to do with the truth. Not everybody can handle weed like you and I. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like you can. Some motherfuckers are shitty on weed. I remember one time, man, my wife and I, we were walking down the street, going to the gas station, and we were walking because we was drunk. So we was like, man, let's not drive. But I wanted some rolling papers. I wanted some. I used to do swishers back at this time, right? So I was like, man, I need some swishers and shit. So I'm going up to the fucking. We walking down to the place. We get our shit. We walking back home. As we walking, it's nighttime. Holy shit balls. Turn around. 2 fucking pickups collided with each other, right? One of them run the light. My wife and I, we not doctors, we not nurses, but we know a pretty nice amount to help a motherfucker out, right? So we run over, get over there, open up a door. It's 2 kids in one truck. Y'all good? I'm talking the driver and the passenger. They like 18, if not younger. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Go to the other one. It's 2 kids in that truck. The girl, oh, my arm fucked up. Woopty wop wop. The first truck I opened, it was a white kid driving and a black kid in the passenger seat. As I looked around, all there was left was a white kid. Black kid took off. So I see this motherfucker, and he's walking across the parking lot. So I'm like, fuck that. Jump over, run over to get him. I open the truck, it smelled like weed, motherfucker. And so I told white kid, leave the doors open. Air your shit out before the cops get here. I run over and find black kid. Hey, what you doing? Oh, I got to get away from that. I was like, why? Because y'all was smoking weed? And he looked at me. At this time, I had a BB gun on me. This is before I was carrying a real gun. I was in training, so I had a BB gun on me. And I used to carry it because the neighborhood, you never know, it was dark. So I'm like, fuck it, if I flashed out, a motherfucker might leave us alone if they try something. So I flashed the gun, and I say, I'm an off-duty police officer, man. And I was like, listen, you fleeing from this is going to make this situation way worse than your friend. And as I'm talking, all these cop cars are swarming the scene, ironically. And there's some people pointing, saying, oh, the boy went away. One of the kids ran away, blah, 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 right? And so I told him, I said, if you got some weed on you, give it to me and take your ass back over there to the cops. Talk to the cops instead of making your friend have to deal with all this shit. This little motherfucker pulls out about 2 ounces of weed and handed that shit to me. So I was like, holy shit. I mean, you're doing the right thing, son. You're doing the right thing. Thank you. I'll make sure I dispose of this shit for you properly, and I'll escort you back over to the cops. So I walked this kid back over to the cops. Cops have no fucking clue who I am, but to the kid, he thinks those are my coworkers. I walk up, hey, what's up, guys? Rick, how you doing, man? How's the kids? Okay, I'm just saying random bullshit, making like I'm with these guys. And I was like, man, he got shook up and he's scared, but he's cool, man. He's back. And the cops was like, okay, and they brought him over, right? And I say that whole story to say the kids in the truck that was high ran the fucking light and smashed these other kids in this other truck. Everybody can't handle weed the same way you and I have grown to handle weed. The 15-year-old me does not deal with weed the way the 40-year-old me does, right? And I feel a lot of people that start smoking at a young age don't really understand what habits are. A habit is something that's prioritized by the reward that you get personally. And not only is that prioritized by that, the way a lot of things become habits is the association that you have with whatever action it is you're doing, right? So let's take cake. Association with cake is birthday parties as a child. So here motherfuckers are 40 years old, 30 years old, can't get rid of eating fucking cake because they got this old association with what it is, the feeling that it gives. So a lot of us have this adolescent association with cannabis that we got when we were a child, and we're trying our best to sustain that shit to adulthood. And so when I look at those things, it just makes me feel like, you know, I think some people need a different relationship with cannabis, you know, like can't everybody have the same. And you could take what I'm saying with cannabis and replace it with anything. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can handle relationships with alcohol. Not everybody can handle certain relationships with porn, right? A lot of people can't even handle a relationship with one of these. Motherfuckers sit there and scroll through this shit all fucking day, and you'll watch all these 15-minute clips, people fighting and arguing and shit, motherfuckers running inside of stores, snatching up merchandise and stuff, girls shaking their titties, thotting themselves out for fucking apps and stuff and supposed challenges. How was it a challenge to shake your booty? What kind of bullshit is that? All right. Like, can you shake your booty with your house shoes on? No, that's what the challenge is today. Fuck, right? So not everybody can handle everything the same way. You got some people who only use this for business. Only use it for business. You know how many people have made millions from this device? You know how many people have minimum wage jobs that use this device? So not everybody can handle shit the same way, right? And so for me, I just be looking at shit and I'm like, man, I got to step to my purpose. I got to step to where I'm supposed to be and who I'm supposed to be. And I'm an entertainer and a motivator, right? Smoking is just part of something I do. That's not who I am, right? I like to jack off, but I'm not going to fucking make a goddamn channel about me jacking off. Like, what kind of shit is that, right? And a lot of people, as weed smokers, we want people to let that be the first thing they know about us. We're a weed smoker. And I don't want that to be the first thing you know about me. I don't want that. That's not where I find my superpower, right? Yeah, it's something I like. It's something I love, God damn it, right? But it don't mean that has to be what's displayed about me. As soon as I meet somebody, the first thing they know is that I smoke weed. That's like if I met you and the first thing you know is that I jack off, right? I go to shake you, you go to shake my hand. I'm like, wait, don't shake that one, player. I just used that an hour ago for a little, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, give me a little fist bump, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You know, that's not what I'm gonna meet you and be like, hey man, this is my jack off hand, use my left. No, you keep that shit that's not who I am, right? And so that's not what I try to do for people when they meet me. I don't want somebody meeting me and that's what they got from me was fucking weed smoking, goddamn it. What the fuck? No, I want you to come across me and feel like you had, I'm the type of person, my wife makes jokes about it. She's like, you start conversations with anyone. She's like, you're the only person I know that walks out of a public bathroom laughing with people that you just walked out the bath. You just met them. How you only pissed? How could you have that much laughter between a piss and washing your hands? Right. And that's who I am. I want anybody who encounters me to have a good fucking feeling, even if it's a good feeling of them looking at themselves in a different way to better themselves. So it doesn't mean that I think everybody should stop smoking weed. Get the fuck out of here. Because I will be a hypocrite, right? I still smoke weed. I still grow weed my best that I can. I still do what I can do, but it doesn't mean I have to make content about it. And when I look at, you know, the way things are, right? Doing cannabis content on YouTube, where does it go? For most of us. Yeah, it can go to,
It goes nowhere, really.
Right. For most of us, it's not going anywhere. I can't pass down this shit to my kids. I love working with my family, right? I love doing stuff with my kids, my wife. My wife can't be on the channel because of her job. My kids can't be on here because they under 18. It's not only excluding money from me, it's excluding me being around my family, right? So I can't make money with it because it's cannabis shit on it. So it made me think, well, why would I have a review for, you know, a fucking vape? And I'm missing money and they ain't paid me shit. And even if I got a little contract with them to get a little monthly, say they was sending me $200 a month. That's nothing compared to what having 500 videos of monetizable content could do for my life versus this fucking $200 from them a month. So now I got to go get what, 20 of these motherfuckers to have a good living, to have a good life, right? 30 motherfuckers to give me this. I don't want to do that because now what I essentially did was went and found 30 other employers for myself. So I'm not doing that shit, right? And I'm not going to front. In fact, I'm about to vape right now as we speak about it. But you know,
I've been feeling terrible hitting this while you've been talking too, man. I'm like,
he's like,
man, he's got such a great message going. For God damn it, I'm not addicted.
hey man, it's late at night. We can have our fun, do our thing. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, this is only for certain people's lives. There's certain people where either A, they don't want to be better, so I ain't talking to them, right? Or B, it don't affect them negatively. They happy where they at, so I ain't talking to them. But there's a huge fucking batch of people who hate their lives. I see it. I see it. Oh, I gotta smoke before I go to work. Well, you know, smoking doesn't make your manager not be a dick, right? He's gonna be the same dick he was before you smoke that joint. So instead of smoking before you go into a place you hate, how about we change the place that you work and change it to a place that you like? Oh, I'm only qualified for these type of jobs. Here's another idea. Qualify yourself for a better job. I know it might sound responsible and all that shit. It might have to display discipline. I know that doesn't sound cool to you, right? But I'm going to tell you, bitches love disciplined dudes. I shouldn't have said that. Women love disciplined dudes. I'm so sorry. Women love a disciplined man. Women love a man who is focused. Women love a man who is not afraid to improve himself, even if it means taking a loss or changing exactly who he is. Women dig that shit. So why would we practice trying to impress other guys? I'm going to show you I can smoke weed, Eagle. Well, Eagle, you're a nice guy, but I'm not trying to sleep with you. So you're not the person that I need to impress. And I ain't saying all this shit just to impress people, but my whole point is we got to also impress ourselves. Like, where's the growth? You got the same habits you had when you was fucking 12? So let me guess, I'm supposed to be smoking weed and eating sour powers all day like when I was 12 years old, man? Like, what kind of bullshit is that? So I had to grow. I had to grow. And I realized I had to practice something that is called transmutation. Transmutation is taking the energy that you put into one thing and putting that exact same energy into something else, more than likely that's going to be more beneficial to you. So if you think a person smokes 10, 20 times a day, just imagine if you did 100 push-ups or 100 jumping jacks 10 to 20 times a day. Your clothes might fit better. You might be able to put your shoe on without having to lose your breath. Shit like that. You could be putting this time towards something else. You could be reading a book that'll get you closer to your goals. And this is just where I'm at. I told myself I'm not going to let 2023 pass me without becoming a powerhouse that I know I'm supposed to and can be. I can't do it. I can't do it. And so there were certain changes that need to be made. And I feel that I'm more useful to the universe doing motivational, entertaining content versus talking to people about cannabis. I know what I'm hired by the universe to do, and that's not my job. Plain and simple. And I think everything has its place. It's just not my place. So I look at cannabis kind of like music, right? I'm a music head, obviously. And I think every style of music has its place. Every style of hip hop has its place, right? Like I like Tribe Called Quest. Don't you dare put that shit on when we in the club and I'm trying to see some girls twerk their asses. I want to hear that shit. Give me some yin yang twin mindless bullshit, right? But if I'm doing a drive across country, I don't want to listen to no fucking twerk music for 4 or 8 hours. You know what I mean? Like, give me something with more substance to it. So everything has its place, right? You got some people hate certain things in the cannabis industry. Oh, fuck that pre-roll machine. Why don't you use your fingers? Well, some people got Parkinson's, motherfucker. Some people don't have 2 hands. So everything has its fucking place. So just because it's not what you like, don't mean that it doesn't deserve a place or a spot. So it's not that I don't like it. I just don't support it. So I don't have to be part of it. But I don't mean the shit needs to be, think it needs to be shut down and nobody should do recreational cannabis content. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't where I'm supposed to be. Like an MMA channel, it has its place, but you won't find CannaMink on a fucking MMA channel getting kicked in the head and shit, talking about, hey man, this is my plate. No, it's not. I am not that guy. That's why I carry a gun. I'm not
Wait,
about
wait a minute. So I can leave my CannaMink episodes up though, right?
You say, yeah, hell yeah. I'll come to your channel and smoke, motherfucker. Shit. The minute you want to monetize, I'll stop smoking. Man, this shit tastes good. But yeah, the minute you want to monetize, I'll stop smoking. And the cool part is a lot of people in the cannabis industry, they want us to continue giving them this content that we don't make money off of.
Ooh, now we're hitting that. So
I'm just keeping it 100. So they'll be like, oh, don't sell out. Don't do this and that and that. And then you come out with a t-shirt and none of these assholes are purchasing. You the same motherfucker that told me not to monetize because you didn't want a 15-second clip in the middle of my shit to tell you to buy a Manscaped thing to shave your balls. You didn't want that. So now I can't get no money because you don't want 15 seconds. And then when I try to go around and do it another way, your bitch ass ain't even going to support that. You ain't sending me no Cash App. You're not putting nothing on my PayPal. You ain't got 5 on it, motherfucker. I want to hear that shit. Stop singing that shit. And that's how I feel when it comes to this cannabis content. They want us to be bent over to do what they want us to do instead of, and that's from the companies all the way down to the people watching the shit. They what I call vampire. They suck you for what you can give them. They don't give you nothing back. Yo, like, I can't pay a bill because you liked one of my videos, right? I can't pay my mortgage because you left a comment on a fucking video. Doesn't work that way. So I'm like, no, I need to move forward. I don't know if I'm looking at my YouTube and it's frozen over here. Okay, it's not. It's good. That was just my bullshit. But motherfuckers they not paying for that. So I'm like, I'm not about to, you know how much money I missed out on last year, motherfucker? I got almost 1 million hours of watch time on my channel. I have a lot of shit. I erased videos that I didn't even know had the amount of view, like 75,000 views.
So what brought on the revelation or the new outlook? Was it the kids? Was you playing with the kids one day and it was like,
I've been on my way to this whole year. Starting January, that's when I went live. 2022, that's when I started going live every morning. Because
it's a huge commitment. People don't realize the commitment it takes just to do that. Even if it is for a half hour, 45 minutes, hour, whatever, that's a commitment. It really is. And I don't think people even give credit for just showing up.
Real, man, just for press and play, motherfucker. Like, goddamn. They don't get it. Because especially in my life, I got kids. I got a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old. I homeschool my 10-year-old. I'm his fucking teacher. So to get up super early in the morning and start a show. I remember one time I was doing my show and someone went on there and was like, can we please talk about cannabis? I had to give an Ace Ventura. Man, I don't know if you ever saw part 1 of Ace Ventura. And that fucking bird at the end pushed him and he was like, hooray. I let that motherfucker have it. I was like, you really think that I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to prep myself to get on here and talk to you about weed? That's what you really think I woke up this morning this early to do, is to get up and talk to you for free about cannabis? I would really like you to say that shit to yourself out loud and tell me that's where you think my purpose is at. Because whatever it is about me that made you think that was my purpose, I apologize for showing that to you, because that is not my fucking purpose. And when I started my channel, I said, first of all, when I got into the cannabis industry, I said I want to get in here and find my place. And I think I found my place. It's in an office with a couch to give therapy to motherfuckers. Because that's where the real issue is lying here. I'm all for some weed smoke, right? But I'm not for using weed to hold yourself back and you don't even realize it. I'm not for that. I look at people's posts that I know that smoke cannabis, and they just depressed. They depressed. And I'm just like, God damn, you need some help. And it's okay. Because I've been depressed. And I feel that every fucking thing that you go through that sucks ass, you went through it so you can be qualified to help somebody else that's going through it.
Man, I've heard that's like the second time I've heard that in a week, man.
Because it's true. It's true. And see, the reason you're hearing it again right now is because of your reticular activating system, right? So what happens with that is that something gets in your mind, and then your mind is going to find a way to prove this to you and fill this void in. So just like people say, I suck at this. Bad things always happen to me. And it's like, okay, watch how bad this is going to be today, right? And then you hear the people that say good shit happens to them, right? And so for me, I'll tell you a story. I have a rock. It's in my bathroom right now on a mirror, but I have a rock that I just said something about the RAS, your reticular activating system. What you think the most is what's going to be drawn towards you. If people don't believe it, that's fine. Think what the fuck you want. Think you're a piece of shit. You got shit to do with me. But I had this rock, and I rubbed this rock all day long. Not like I'm beating my meat again, right? But I rub this rock all day long, and I tell myself, I am deserving of good things happening to me. I am fucking deserving of that. Most of us do not wake up and tell ourselves that. We wake up with the thought of, man, same bullshit. What they say, same shit, different toilet, right? And that's how a lot of motherfuckers deal with life. So I tell myself, you are deserving of good shit. And some of this good shit, you don't have to break your back to get. My family and I, we went to, I live in Nevada, and we drove into Vegas like 2 weeks ago or something. We were going to get some fucking waffles from this waffle spot. They have amazing waffles at this one place. He said, well, fuck it. Let's just stay in Vegas. So we stayed in Vegas. The morning we were leaving, got a late checkout. I said, you know what? I'm going to go down to the casino, and gamble a little bit before we leave, because my wife was doing some work on the computer. Son was playing video games. Daughter was knocked out asleep. Fuck it. I ain't got shit to do. Let me go play in the casino. And I'll tell you right now, it's probably the only casino in Vegas with a $1 minimum on the betting tables and shit. So I was like, hell yeah, $1 in craps. Fuck it. So I went down there, and I'm sitting. I tried to go to this craps machine, because they have like a actual machine where you don't have to touch the dice, and it'll like, and then blow, and it'll be whatever the fucking dice roll like land on. So I was trying to use this machine, and the shit was broken, wouldn't work. Fuck it. I'll go to this roulette machine. Start playing this roulette machine, right? And don't forget, I rub this rock every day and say good things are supposed to happen to me. Playing the machine, I put a whole $10 in that bitch, right? I'm a baller on a budget. So I put $10 in that bitch. And I know you think, damn, that motherfucker must have hit. No, I didn't. I was playing, and some guy is walking across the fucking casino, and he's kind of looking at me, and I'm thinking to myself, why is this motherfucker looking at me? I'm like, I know he ain't about to come up and try to ID me or some shit, right? This guy walks up to me, and he says, hey, what's up, man? He was like, you look like a really nice guy. And he was like, here you go. And he gave me 2 tickets that had money on them from that casino. One had like $2.25, right? The other one had like about $20. It was a 20 even actually on it. So it was like $22.50. I was very grateful for it. See, what I realized is a lot of people, they wait for something big to be grateful. And I've been learning to be grateful for everything. If I'm walking and I find a penny, I'm going to be grateful for it. Because it's a disrespect to the grateful gods. And I'm not talking from a Christianity. I'm talking from the grateful gods, whoever the grateful gods are. It's a disrespect to say that's not enough for me to be grateful. Imagine if you gave a girl something and the bitch say, that's only 10 carats? Bitch, give me my 10 carats back and the carrots in the refrigerator. I'm out. Fuck you, right? Is she not showing no appreciation? So I was very appreciative of this $22.50. God damn it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Tell the guy thank you a million times. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. That's good looking out. So then I hit my leg where my rock was at and was like, yeah, buddy, deserving of good shit, right? The man walks out. I'm looking at him. I'm still playing because I'm shocked. I only see shit like that on YouTube and shit, right? The motherfucker comes back in and says, hey, I found 2 more tickets for you. One had $80 on it, and the other one had like 10. This motherfucker gave me like $130-something and 50 cents. Just for me looking like a nice guy. Couldn't fucking believe it, right? So for me, I started putting my energy toward what it is that I actually want. And I started directing my energy and my focus to where and who I want to be. And so I started with the recreational shit. I got over to just talking, because I put a video on my channel that said high tolerance or weak cannabis. Because a lot of people was coming into the dispensary like, I need more THC. I need to be higher. Okay, motherfucker. I guess if you think that the THC percentage is what makes you high and that's it, what the fuck? So then I was listening to these people and they would say, I need something stronger, man. I've been smoking for 30 years.
You ever try taking a break rather than go up?
Have you ever heard of a word called tolerance? And so they would say this shit. So I made a video about it. All these dumb motherfuckers coming in here, let me speak to them. And the new generation coming up so they don't grow up being dummies like these guys. And I started speaking about high tolerance. And I started speaking about how high tolerance shows how your habit is. And I say, why would you try to chase high tolerance for cannabis? That is about the dumbest thing that anybody could ever do, in my opinion. High tolerance means more weed. More weed means more money, motherfucker. Why would I purposely want to put my money towards something that I'm about to light on fire, never see it again? It's not even gonna last 2-3 hours. Because when you smoke, in my personal opinion, / some of the things I look at of the science, smoking is the worst form of cannabis consumption there is, because it's the weakest form. There's no controlled temperatures from your lighter whatsoever. All right. So when people will come in the dispensary, oh, I'm taking this for medical. Well, why won't you do edibles? Nah, I just like to smoke. But if it's medical, isn't the goal to get rid of the pain for as long as possible? The smoke high don't last as long as the edible high. It don't last as long as the RSO high. So stop lying. You like to smoke, motherfucker. And it just so happens.
It doesn't. But I think there's just, an implemented method for each cause. You know what I mean? I think for, something that needs it a little bit on the now, maybe a couple puffs of something for, like, say, seizures or something like that. You know what I mean?
100% with you on that. I'm 100% with you on that. I'm not going to front. I am 100% with you on that. I had a man who he had Parkinson's. And he came in and he couldn't get down from the mountain for like a week or so. This motherfucker was shaking the shit out of himself. And his wife was there, so she's the one explaining this shit to me. So he gets the vape and she's like, can he consume this right now? I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, let him do his thing, because it was a bar inside of this place. And I watched the man go from this to this. He was just about right here with his shakes. Right that close of an instant, right? But for long term, even if you smoked and took an edible, I would see it being done for medical. I feel when I look at a lot of these people, they want to stay in this position so they can have a reason to smoke. Because back in the day, for like, especially when I was a kid, smoking was all about recreation. It wasn't, and I know they had Marinol back in the day when it was a tincture and it was actual medication. I understand that. But I'm saying the masses, especially when I was a kid, I ain't hear nobody talking about no medical. It was everybody was smoking for recreational. And then it was a secret. But then when all the medical stuff started coming out, people were able to say, well, I got cataracts, so I can smoke some weed. And they felt they were being accepted now by people who did not accept them before. So it's almost like a Munchausen syndrome. Like, you want to be in this position so you can keep taking this medication. I ain't saying this to everyone. Talk to me.
Do you think at some point it is a little bit about like the TV commercial? So tell your doctor if you have these symptoms, and at some point people just went, yeah, wait a minute. Those factors do apply to me, and I do smoke cannabis.
Dude, you know how easy it was to get medical shit when I was when I lived in Cali, when those cards first started coming out. I literally told a doctor, I'm sore from working out, and he gave me a card to go get weed. Of course you're sore from working out. It's called hypertrophy, motherfucker. Like, you don't need weed for that. You need to give your muscles time. You know what I'm saying? He gave me a card for that shit. Gave me a card. So I just look at it, and like I say, I'm not discrediting the real ones. But this is how I look at cannabis consumers for medical and recreation. Remember when George Floyd, that shit happened, where the guy George Floyd got killed by the cops and all these riots broke out? At those protests, you had a group of people who were there, really there for a change. Parallel that to cannabis. You do have some people who are here really because of medical issues. But at that same protest, you had fucking wolves in there just waiting to go get some free shoes. They was waiting to go get free phones and clothes to have a reason to riot. But they're standing there amongst the real protesters who are looking for real change. Parallel it to cannabis. You have people who really have issues who need to consume cannabis. And then you got those other people there. I just want to have an excuse to dab, motherfucker. And I can't act like those people don't exist. They make us look bad. Me, I'm a 100. I tell people all the time, I do not smoke for medical. I smoke because I fucking love doing it. I enjoy it. It's fun. The shit tastes great when you get the right one. I grew some shit recently. Almost made a motherfucker just stop smoking. I was like, wait a second. So, but I like the shit. I like the way it looks. I like the way it falls together after I grind it up when it's some really good, sticky, fluffy shit. I enjoy that shit. Once I started growing, fucking mind was blown. Wow, you started from this little piece of shit seed and this is what you are today? Huh.
You don't think any of that feeling, none of those good feelings, none of that oxytocin, it's good for you? Or
I'm not going to say it's good or bad. I don't believe in good or bad. I honestly don't. I think things either make people feel comfortable or uncomfortable. Things are either working in your favor or they're not. So I don't think that a person shouldn't, like I say, obviously I'm shit. I tell nobody stop smoking. But there's some people where I need to say, hey, you need to stop smoking. You got some things that you need to get in order with your life first. You got some financial shit you got to get done. You got children who are counting on you. And you're holding back your greatness because you don't want to have to face a drug test. You're holding back your greatness because you smoke first and you're not motivated to go to school. I'm not going to sit there and act like those people don't exist. So as I even said earlier, the people who got all their shit together, fine. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the person who's really sitting around and they're like, something's not clicking here. Something's not working. I don't know what it is. I can't save no motherfucking money. Hey, man, homie will be here in 30 minutes to drop off an A. Man, why am I so broke? That's what it's a group of motherfuckers like that. And like I say, when I try to address those people, some people respond to me because of what I said and how it makes them feel. I can say one thing and motherfuckers start justifying, not everybody smokes for that because for me, I do it because of what, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll say let's add just a little bit of maturity when you have a conversation with a person. Unless you heard that person say for every single motherfucker, that means they're probably not talking about everybody. They're talking about a select few, right? So it's not, I can't subscribe to some of the bogus claims I hear, and I hear a lot of people who know, let's say the education for something was 1,000 pages, right? And that means you know everything. They got 1,000 pages of education of cannabis and about 10 pages worth of the human body. So you don't even understand where this is actually going. It's like having vinegar and you don't understand what it does with baking soda. But yet you a vinegarologist, but you don't know nothing about baking soda. You don't know nothing about oxygen, carbon. You don't know nothing about none of those things, but you a fucking vinegarologist, huh? And you got the nerve to tell people to put that vinegar with that fucking baking soda. And you don't even understand everything about baking soda. And that's what I be feeling like when I be looking at the cannabis shit. It'd be like this happy-go-lucky attitude with cannabis, like it can't derail your life.
Huh.
Even cannabis can derail you getting better, just like pills can. So instead of fixing your problem, you want a pill to mask it? I did biometric health screenings. I would take people's blood, run that shit, test it, blah, blah, blah. Let them know their fucking lipid panel pretty much, right? Their blood panel, like what they got, what's going on with their triglycerides, their weight, if they're obese, their cholesterol levels, things of that sort. I would go through that and I would coach the people. And 8 out of 10 people, when I would tell them something, their first fucking response outside of laughter, why would you laugh about your shit being fucked up, is, well, is there a pill I can take? And I had a response for each and every one of them. Yes, it's a pill called responsibility. Swallow that shit. Start taking care of yourself. And so if you have a physical issue that's not a cancer, we're talking about muscle issues, joint problems, right? The weed is a crutch for them not to go work out. The weed is a crutch for them not to eat and have an anti-inflammatory diet. The weed is a crutch for them to not reduce their sugar levels, for them to get up and go to the gym, to fucking stretch, to reduce their alcohol consumption. Because the weed is covering it. So they thinking that they can get through and keep on doing what they doing. It's like you got a fucked up engine and you putting some liquid inside to try to seal your gaskets. When really and truly you need to rebuild your engine and change those gaskets out. But now I'm gonna put this liquid in here. It's only like $8.99. It's cheaper than doing the whole thing. Now I'm gonna just smoke this weed. It's easier to do that to mask the problem than to actually fucking change my diet and work out. Change my job. Change the person I'm in a relationship with. You with a bitch making you smoke an ounce a day, you need to change that shit. Fuck that. Right? So I'm looking at it from those people of like, nah, you got to be honest with yourself. There's a time and place for everything. And you can't always do the exact same thing your whole life. Like I'm a swinger, in the lifestyle of a swinger. I'm a swinger, right? But when my wife is having our kid, we're not swinging while she's pregnant, goddammit. We're not swinging 2 weeks after. There's a time and place for everything. You don't have to be super weed smoker your whole life. You don't. How come you don't have a habit of winning? You ain't got no habit of completing your goals. You don't have a habit of sticking to your word. But you got a habit of smoking weed when you wake up, before you go to work, after you get off of work, your lunch breaks, right before you eat, after you eat, probably while you eat, taking the shit, you probably smoking. You got a habit of that, but you ain't got no habit of winning. No habits of completion. That's an issue for me. It's a huge issue for me. And it could be anything. It could, like I say, we could replace smoke with drinking. We could replace smoke with porn. We can replace smoke with fucking IG. We can replace it with any motherfucking thing, right? And I always laugh to myself, and I think like motherfuckers be like, weed ain't addictive. Stop. If you replace cannabis or weed, the word, and put in porn, put in I drink, I put crack in my veins. So imagine someone saying, man, as soon as I wake up, I jack off. Right before I walk in my job, I jack off. I even jack off on my way to work as I'm driving. And then when I take a lunch break, I go jack off. Then when I get off of work, I go jack off again. And then while I'm cooking dinner, I'm jacking off at the same time. And then after dinner, I jack off. And I know some people might be like, no, it's different though. Okay, you tell yourself that. But the point is, you're still taking time to do something that you probably could have been putting towards something a little bit more productive with yourself. And I know for 7.7 billion motherfuckers on the planet, I can't be the only one that realized when I put my priorities first, instead of putting weed first, that my life got better. I can't be I'm not special. So it's not like I'm the only one on the planet that would benefit. So I'm not an advocate for stop smoking weed. I'm not an all or nothing guy. To me, discipline is showing that you know how to control something you love, not getting rid of it. So a lot of people try to preach to you, you need to just stop. That's where you get ultimate strength. Well, how about ultimate strength being able to control my shit, motherfucker? Like, I got ultimate strength when I'm around big titties and I'm in the grocery store and I don't just grab them. But I'm not going to just stop liking titties altogether. The fuck? So that's how I feel with cannabis. It don't have to be an all or nothing thing. But for some motherfuckers need to grab that shit and get a hold of it. And they need to change their surroundings and change what they see and what they watch. It's like how you follow, 1,000 cannabis people and it ain't one person in your repertoire of people you follow that deals with finances. And your finances is all upside down.
Just funny purposes, though. Would you take that guy that jerked off all the time and put a joint in his hand for maybe just like a smoker, just give him something else to do with his hands, man? It's a little bit less dopamine spike. He can work his way down.
Like, we could change this with this guy. We could change this with this guy. Hey, man, I say to each his own. You know what I mean? Like, I that's one thing I really, really stick on is to each his own. But I'm not going to contribute to what I feel could be a downfall. And
so you feel like on that aspect that it's the minority, and then not in the literal sense, but the minority that sneak through the YouTube algorithm, kind of ruining it for the majority whose content that you did enjoy, it, and you know what I mean? Because I know for a fact the more and more people that was enjoying the Maury show, it was a bigger and bigger part of their day, you know what I mean? So again, the few that sneak through ruin it for the masses, or
I feel that what my purpose is going to be, everything I do is going to be the masses. So I have to be very mindful of how I present myself. So I'm not going to hide that I smoke weed. Got me fucked up. I ain't hiding shit.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm not saying you. That. I'm just saying, not you. I'm just saying, like, shit. I'm just thinking of the thought. Like, shit, got me fucked up. I ain't hiding who I am, right? I'm just thinking of the thought of that. I don't like hiding who I am. I hate that shit. Fuck people. If you don't like who I am, fuck off. Right? But like I say, I just don't want to contribute. So this is a great example. If I say, remember I said, let's say education, 1,000 pages, you know everything about it. This stupid example, I'm just saying, let's say 1,000 pages was all it took to learn something. When it comes to cannabis, you would probably disagree. I would say that you would be the guy. I would be like, yeah, 1,000 pager, right? For me, maybe 50 pages. I feel like I would be disrespecting you, Smiley, Jack, everybody, Bingus, for me to now say I'm an educator of growing. That's disrespectful. No, I am not, right? So I'm not strong enough to contribute to where I feel actual cannabis content is useful. Because you guys, Well, you guys are putting the power in the growers' hands, in the people's hands. What I was doing was promoting putting the power in the dispensary's hands. And I have a huge issue with that. When you listen to everybody lobbying for legality of cannabis, it's all about sales. Ain't no march or, hey, sign this online for the grower. In Clark County in Nevada, which is where Vegas is at, it is illegal to grow your own marijuana if you are within 25-mile radius of a dispensary. Not 25 feet, not 25 yards, 25 miles. There is a dispensary. The ratio to dispensaries and corners is like the ratio of testicles to penises. Like, there is one everywhere, motherfucker. So essentially, they told you cannot grow in the county of Clark County in Las Vegas. That is essentially what's being said. And when I listen to that and I see all these people fight, how are we fighting for cannabis for people to sell it? How did we skip fighting for growth and let it grow into sales? But we started at sales? What bullshit is that? So I ain't fucking making videos for those people. Fuck them. So that's why I say when I look at the type of content I respect that type of content because you're pouring into the people that I honestly feel need the fucking education. Like, let's just keep it real. It's kind of easier to learn how to grow if I'm watching, fucking weed nerd and there's 10 motherfuckers on the panel and they all growing the same type of plant, but they all have a different approach. I can learn from that way easier. So I feel that needs to be there. I feel it definitely needs to be there. And I feel recreational stuff needs to be there too. I just don't need to push that shit. Like, I just don't. I got value. And I know it might be like, oh, this guy might seem all on himself talking about he has value. Yep, I am. I encourage everybody, ride your own dick, blow yourself up, pump yourself up, encourage yourself. Tell yourself how fucking dope you are. Recognize your superpower. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste time hitting like on everybody online and you recognizing their superpower. And here you are with your dormant shit inside of you because you're not paying no attention to that. So you need to start hitting like on your own shit, right? You need to start leaving comments on your own shit. Every fucking post I put up on IG, I like that shit because I don't post nothing I don't like. Might even start leaving fire emojis on my own shit.
That's funny.
But I do. I hit like on all of my shit.
I got called out and fucking with my Mass Roots day. Some chick said something about me liking my own shit. I'm like, wow, the same thing you just said. If I didn't like it, why the fuck did I post it? Why can't
I dislike on my own shit? Report my own shit. Like, what the fuck? No. So I like my shit. I tell motherfuckers, why do you think these whack ass rappers are where they are? When you listen to their music, they believe in themselves. And the reason other motherfuckers ain't where they at is because they spending time trying to critique other people who are. It's not about your talent. Not about your abilities. It's about, do you believe in yourself? And not only do you believe in yourself, do you believe in yourself enough to be consistent? That's why in 2022, I went live every morning. Because I told myself, I believe that I could do more than fucking sit here and talk about vapes. I can do way more than talk about fucking gummy. So I believe it so much, I'm going to wake up Monday through Friday. Because at first my show started at 5:30 in the morning. So I would wake up at 3:30 every fucking morning. Slept on the couch every night. So I didn't have to disturb nobody when I woke up. And I would get up at 3:30. And, take my morning shit. That take about 30 minutes. I'm one of those, I usually shit until my legs fall asleep. So I do that. Then I get up and I start getting everything together in the mornings. For people that don't know, I usually will play games on my channel in the mornings. Usually 90% of the time, those games were put together morning of the show. So that was why I had to wake up so early.
What are we going to do now, CannaMink? What are we going to do now?
Hey, man, I'm still there, though. I'm just changing the content. I'm just changing the let me rephrase, because this whole year has been a year of motivation. If you realize, if you look at my content this year, 95% of my content was all motivation. It was all self-checking because I share what I go through. So when I'm growing,
and that's what a lot of people appreciate about your channel and your show, was that, you know what I mean, people can identify with, you know, those traits, a lot of the shit they're going through in their life, and they, you know, that's inspiring. You know what I mean? That and alone, and it's inspiring to folks.
And that's why I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm sticking with the parts that serve my purpose. So the inspiring people, that serves my purpose.
Either way, I'm gonna support you, brother.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know what's funny is when I was deleting all my content, you were the first video that I did a live. You and I went live. And that was the first time I ever went live, because I came to your show and went live with you, and I asked you to come to my show. So you was like you know, a motherfucker don't want to walk in the club by himself. Like, you was like my wingman, like, hey man, why don't you roll to the club with me, dog? I want to go by myself. So you were my first video. Like, and so I'm not deleting that. Like, I'm not deleting if we're just sitting here having a smoke. I ain't, you know, having a smoke. I'm deleting what the algorithm will pick up. It picks up the shape of cannabis leaves. People cannot believe it, but I know it 150%. 150%. There's videos that I put up on my channel. So this is what I would do. I would record something, a huge file, but I need to do more with it, but I need the file to be compressed. So I would upload it to YouTube and then download it back to myself as an MP4. But I wouldn't even have it released. It would be set to private, just so I can have it and, you know, do it and download it back. When I would upload this video set to private with my plants in it, I would get a thing from YouTube letting me know that they made my content 18 and over right away. And it's not even a release video. There's no words on it. It'll say something like video 5, whatever the file was on there. It won't say nothing about cannabis. And they will send me a fucking thing saying that they automatically put it for 18 and over. And I couldn't change it if I wanted to without disputing it. So they can see just as much as they can find a WAV file, like an audio file. It's the same thing visually. Same fucking thing visually. Face scans. That's one of the hottest technologies right now. It's one of the best ways of owning the information. Why do you think everybody's selling your information? Whoever has the most information is the most powerful, because they know everything about you. And now everybody got these apps putting their faces in them. They now really got everything about you.
I warned about that a long time ago when my kids, when all that shit came back, when everybody was like, all the filters, I'm like, you know, they're reading your face and don't tag me and shit.
They're taking your face. That's why your phone open up when they see your ass. Your Alexa light up when you walk by it and shit.
Yeah,
they know you.
Super true.
They know you. And so that's one of the things. Like for me, I just this year I said, man, fuck that shit, man. I'm gonna bet on myself for 2022. I put the bet in. I like where it's come to, and now I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to fully become who it is I've been wanting to be. I've been saying forever I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be a motivational speaker.
I love them. I listen to them all the time, man. All the time.
Me too. That's what I got so lame. I'll listen to podcasts while I'm fucking working out. I never thought I'd be a lame-o listening to some podcasts while I'm working out, but that's my programming time. Programming my body and I'm programming my mind. So instead of programming my mind with trap music, which I would usually jump rope to and all that shit, I started listening to shit that was actually feeding me to move me forward. And so I realized that, do I want to just be mindless trap music with my content? Or do I want to be something that's moving motherfuckers forward and they get fed when they come to me? And so that's who I want to be. I want to be somebody who I feed people. You know, there's a person that I want to be, and I'm working at it in very small steps. Like I have this goal. Like I said, when I say I got people depending on me, it's not just my family. It's people I don't even fucking know. It's a level that I need to reach to be able to enhance the lives of people I don't know. The other day I was watching a video. You ever see those videos? Dude walk up to somebody and be like, hey, do you have $1? And then like 10 people say no, and one person say yeah. And then they hook them up with like $1,000 or something just for saying yeah. I like those videos because that's part of my goal is I want to be able to go around and give and help people out because I've been in fucked up. I've been on food stamps. I've been on cash aid from the government. I've been homeless. I've been down there. And I know what it's like when someone just comes through and helps you out. You know what I'm saying? And at first I had a thought of like, well, everybody's where they are mostly because of their choices. So it's not my job to help those people, right? But then I started changing my vocabulary and saying, well, everybody's where they're at because of their choices, and it's not my job to judge those people. And so if I want to help someone, help them. I don't have to help you on your terms. So that don't mean just because I'm walking in Walmart and you ask me for money, I have to give it to you. But it also doesn't mean that I don't have to give to anyone. Giving is very important when it comes to life. And so I was watching that video the other day. I ain't rich. And I was like, you know what? I ain't rich, but I'm up enough, right? Like, I ain't crying. Like, I got a nice home. I live on a golf course and shit. Like, I'm good, right? I ain't rich, but I'm good. Going to the store. There's this homeless cat that always be in front of the fucking entrance to the shopping center. I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna get homie a bucket of fried chicken. So I went inside the store, got that motherfucker this huge bucket of fried chicken, took everything inside of me not to fucking take one piece. That shit was smelling good. I said, fuck it. Go out and I'm gonna get this to this motherfucker. Because he wasn't there when I first went in. So I didn't get anything. And because it's a Walmart and Albertsons in the same parking lot. Went to Walmart, he wasn't there when I first went in. But when I drove over to Walmart, he got there. I guess he hadn't woke up for work, you know, with his sign and shit yet. But he came in to work on time. I was like, there he is. Went to Albertsons, got the motherfucker a bucket of chicken. And what I've learned is you don't have to be, there's no perfect time to walk in your purpose. You walk in your purpose when you walk in your purpose. That's the perfect time. So I don't have to be rich to give to somebody. Right then and there was the perfect time to give to that dude. It was fucking 32 degrees outside, which some people probably like, that's it. That's hot, motherfucker. Right? But where I'm at, it was fucking cold. It's the desert, motherfucker. It was fucking cold. When I get in the car fucking gives me an alarm to let me know how fucking cold it is outside. Right? And this motherfucker standing out here with a fucking sign trying to get something to eat. Here's a nice warm bucket of chicken, motherfucker. At first, I was going to get him some baked chicken. And I was like, nah, man, he needs as much calories as possible. Let me get him that deep fried shit. You know what I mean? And he when I gave it to him, his eyes fucking lit up. And he was just like, oh, dude, are you serious? I was like, yeah. I was like, the whole thing is yours, dog. And he was like, oh, man. He's like, thank you. So, oh, wow. He just kept saying, oh, wow. Oh, man. He was so fucking shocked that he fucking got a bucket of chicken that morning. I mean, I'd be happy if somebody gave me a fucking bucket of chicken right now. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine how happy this motherfucker was. And so that was part of me realizing, stop waiting until tomorrow to follow your purpose. Stop waiting until everything seems perfect, motherfucker. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, just start walking in your fucking purpose now and see how that shit works out for you. And so that's what I've been doing. Walking in my shit now, taking my baby steps. And, you know, the hardest thing to do was to delete that content because that was part of me. That was part of my creation. You know what I'm saying? That was part of, if I get hit by a meteorite, my kids will always have my face. You know, they'll always have my movements. They'll always have my personality. But now they're going to have something even better. You know, when I die, I want my kids to be like, man, my father fucking inspired people. I don't want to die and all they got is my bongs and rolling papers left over. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I got people looking up to me, you know, and if I told them that I was putting my best foot forward, that they're looking at me and it's like, he not putting his best foot forward. It don't make sense. And so I want to still be able to reach people and touch people, and having cannabis content on my page, that was holding me back. It wasn't allowing me to get to where I need to be. The algorithm don't even know what to do with me.
You know, then in that aspect, the whole algorithm and stuff like that sucks, because I really don't think, you know, the cannabis side of things is that impactful. It can be, don't get me wrong, man. It can be, you know, there is a price, man. You know, and we go for it, and a lot of people don't understand that, man. People go look for jobs, man, and they put that phone number in. You know, a lot of times a future employer could run that number and pull up your Google accounts and see all the shit you got going. And yeah, at some points, yeah, that can be a hindrance, that's for sure. But as far as like the legacy and stuff, man, the content that I've always seen and I've looked forward to seeing and that I've enjoyed on your channel has always been motivational. You know what I mean? Anytime that it hasn't been, it's been moments like this where it's been kind of somewhat where, you know, it's a message where you just more or less calling for everybody to kind of check themselves a little bit. There's no harm in that. You know, I'm kind of going through a bit of that phase myself, and I see, and I'm not the only one as far as, you know, I'm finding a lot of comfort in this, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because you've just kind of preempted and, you know, done some shit that uh myself and I think a lot of people have thought about lately is the legacy and what we're leaving behind. You know, for me, it's I reflect about every 100 episodes or so, you know what I mean? But as of late, man, I've really kind of, you know, I'm kind of trying to take in what's going to be left behind. And I get that. But when it comes to what you've done and stuff like that, I can 100% see it to be motivational. You know what I mean? Sad that it has to have that Canon tag to it that you may think may be a little less influential. But man, to the people that were there, you know what I mean? I think every one of those people it appreciated the days that you showed up, the inspirational messages. I know there's fucking days where I showed up, didn't say a fucking thing. I was like, God damn it, Canna, make me think about all this shit. And you were on point. That's the point that, you know what I mean? Haters hate because they it makes them reflect on the shit that's fucking they're doing wrong. And at some points, you know what I mean? I think, yeah, we showed up for a joint, but you know what I mean? We had to reflect a little bit. That's not shitty, man. You know, I don't think so at all, especially in the early morning times, man. It's a good time to check that shit and leave the house with a better attitude instead of one we may have ran out with. You know what I mean?
I did that. And I say, like, people like you, people like Smiley, people like Ultimate Acres, people like martial artists. Like, these are different people, keeper of strains. I see you out there. What up? Like, y'all fuck with me. And I didn't have to cannabis. And then I was like, let me test the waters. I'm not even going to smoke in the morning. Because I realized I was purposely smoking. Like when I would do my shows, I'm a fucking talker. I'd be so on this, I'd be forgetting. I'll turn this shit on and then I hear a beep that it went off and I didn't even hit the shit because I'm sitting there talking and responding to people in the fucking comments and laughing and joking. And then I would purposely be like, oh, let me smoke. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm not going to smoke because right now my time is being occupied with serving. I'm serving people with my energy. I'm serving people with what I've learned from my experiences. So right now, smoking's not on my mind. Serving the people who logged on this morning and decided to give me their morning are the people I need to be focused on right now. And so I stopped doing it. And I realized motherfuckers were still here. And I was like, okay. And so with you guys are the people this year who showed me it was okay to walk in my purpose, to be honest. So you guys are the reason why I'm deleting that beginning part of my channel. So like the motivational stuff, that's all gonna stay. It's just the ones where I'm like, this is weed, go smoke it. I'm deleting that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah.
Who are some of your favorite motivational speakers?
And I like Les Brown.
Yeah.
I like Tom Bilyeu. I like Ed Milet, Eric Thomas, E.T.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right,
100%.
right. Obviously Tony Robbins. Um, I it's another dude named 19 Keys. He be fucking spitting knowledge about the fucking man. Those are probably like my favorites right there. But then I like fucking with Ed Milet and Tom Bilyeu because they bring so many people on. So I'm able to learn from other people as well. David Goggins, he's the shit.
Yeah, another good one for sure.
I can't go as extreme as him, but I admire his where he's at in his life, right? Because that's where I say everybody ain't got to walk my path, right? Like I'm not a David Goggins. I'm not gonna run and duct tape my feet. You got me fucked up. I'm not doing it. Like, not gonna happen. So I'm not gonna try to strive to be that guy. But I follow him because I respect that guy. Because there's certain times where I do need to tell myself, stop being a bitch, get yourself up, go do what you're supposed to do. That's all I hear sometimes. So I get up and do it. There's another workout guy called CT Fletcher. He's like Samuel Jackson of working out. You motherfuckers,
He's one of my
get your pansy asses up and lift the fucking weight. He's one of those type of guys. I like that shit. I'm a very vulgar motherfucker, right? So I like listening to Gary V. He's a, what the fuck? You're young, man. You have your whole life fucking ahead of you. Don't listen to these other fucking naysayers, man. I love that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I listen to these type of people and I listen to them and I say, I could be that. Because I used to do that in music. I watch people in music. I'd be like, I could do that shit. Entertain like that. I used to watch motherfucking strippers. I could do that shit.
Inky Johnson, Smile. That's another good one. Smile,
yeah, Inky, he's the shit. Yeah, Inky, he's the shit. He's the shit. He has a very triumphant story. Like, big time. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I tell you, I look at those people. I say, you go through shit to share with other people, man. You go through shit to share with other people. And I'm trying to show a lot of people, especially in our community, and I say our community and as in the green community, stop. This is what we do. I just told my wife, I thought of this the other day of an analogy. In our backyard, we have I don't know, it might be like a big tree or some bullshit. I don't know. It's a fucking fruit tree in the back. Put it like that. Right now, it's about 2 leaves left on that bitch. And I was like, damn, can you imagine if you was like, this was like your first time ever going through spring, right? Like early humans. All this fruit. And next thing you know, everything start falling off of it and it's not producing. You'd be like, man, that shit ain't never coming back. Right? But it always comes back. There's a season for everything. There's a season for good shit. There's a season for bad shit. But your job is to understand that it's going to leave and it's going to come back. But this is what we do, Eagle, when it comes to fucking problems. It's a season where it leaves and come back. You got fall. So our problem's supposed to fall away. This is what we do. A problem is happening. We take that problem and we take it inside and we put it in a grow tent and we harvest our problems year round. We harvest that we were lied to. We harvest that we got fired. We harvest past relationships with dudes and females, whatever, right? We harvest those problems and we make ourselves become a victim. Instead of saying that was some bullshit, let it go. There's something else better coming. We continuously look out for bullshit. So that goes back to that RAS, that reticular activating system. You're looking for bullshit, so you're gonna fucking find it. We're in the process of looking for what we were looking, my wife and I, looking for a truck. For a while, we were sitting there our brain was consumed with the Jeep Gladiator. You know, the Jeep with the bed on the back. That's what we was going to get. After that, I started seeing Jeep Gladiators every fucking where. Where all you gladiators come from in this little ass town? This little town, where y'all come from? All of a sudden, all the gladiators, Nitro. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the gladiators from back in the day, American Gladiators, sorry. But the point is, there was all these fucking Jeep Gladiators everywhere. I'm like, fuck? And then we changed it. Okay, you know, we think we're going to get a Tacoma. Guess what truck is every motherfucking where now? Right? So when you always have someone, people are lying to you, relationships never work out, you created that shit because you say, oh, I always pick the wrong ones. Well, guess what? The next one you pick is going to be the wrong one. Say no, you don't have magical fairies sprinkling dust on you to make good shit happen, and then little evil trolls fucking your shit up. You got life fucked up. It's you creating this bullshit because you keep doing the same shit over and over. You keep saying the shit to yourself over and over. I'm a procrastinator. Yeah, because you keep saying that shit. Why don't you wake up and say, I get shit done? That's why the intro of my song, I like to smoke weed so you can kiss my ass. I handle my shit. Don't care how big the task. Right? Don't say I'm a weed smoker that don't do my shit. I was in the process at first of writing a book called Stoned But Not Dumb. But instead of doing it as a book, I'm actually going to do it as a course to help motherfuckers get their life on track. But I have to finish everything myself. I have to go through it all myself. I can't just be telling y'all, hey man, take some salt, throw it over your shoulder, and then get some pine cones and juggle them motherfuckers. Everything be okay. I ain't about to sit here telling you no bullshit. I'm gonna tell you, no, this is what I've realized has worked for me. So I'm talking to the people who can relate. If this ain't your life, I'm not fucking talking to you. I'm not for everyone. I understand that. The people listening need to understand that everyone's not for them. That's where people come in and try to tell you. I've had people hit dislike on videos of me talking about me moving forward. How you dislike a motherfucker talk about he moving forward in his life? Like, how low are you in your shit that you hate another motherfucker for moving forward, for his own personal growth? Right? So I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm focusing. There's a person that I see in my head that I'm gonna be, and I can't become that person with the guy that I was, if that makes sense. It can't happen. Like if you got in your mind, you see Eagle with a shredded six pack. You see Eagle with just shoulders, arms. There's no way Eagle can be that if Eagle was eating at McDonald's 24/7.
Hey, I'm getting there.
But you're in shape, motherfucker. Like you in shape. You handle your shit. That's why I say that. Because the habits that you have go along with your body structure. You have a lean structure to the face. That has to do with your habits. That ain't magic. So there's no way I can be who I need to be with old habits. And it's crazy when people think that they can move forward and still be the same person their whole fucking lives. That's impossible. You can have core things that might stay the same, but for the most part, your motherfucking ass should be changing because you should be growing. I can start with a goal in 2022 and that shit will shift because I've matured and shifted through the year. So I become something else and someone else. So my direction has to change. If I'm going into a hole that's 1 inch wide and I grew to 1.5 inches, my direction needs to change. And that's how I look at life. Like, why hold on to who you were because you think that shit is cool? Because that's all you've ever known. Failure is the most comfortable place humans can stay at because it doesn't take effort. I ain't got to try to fail, motherfucker. Ain't no effort in that shit. So that's a very comfortable place. The discomfort is in the shit that most people won't do to have the lives that most people won't have. So on the other side of discomfort is nothing but peace. And people don't realize that it's more uncomfortable to be comfortable in laziness. That's more uncomfortable. It's harder to get through life when you're not applying yourself. That shit makes it hard. You're already going uphill and you got the nerve to fucking put 2 flat tires in the back. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? You know how many people that I've trained that are mad weed heads? Doctors, no joke, surgeons, nurses. They took the time to say, well, let me stop so I can get the job. Then I can come back to it. Because as a nurse, if you fail a drug test, they put you in fucking rehab first. They don't fire you. They try to help you out because they understand we push drugs. We know that shit, how that shit is. We're not gonna do you like that. So these people will go back to doing whatever it was they was doing. I say everybody, I'm just saying, I was training high profile people, financial advisors, CPAs, people that consume cannabis. But they had to stop to get to be who they needed to be. And then they was able to go back to whatever lifestyle and habit they wanted to do. And I just don't want to not put that in the next generation's ear, especially. Like, you can smoke all through medical school, but once it's time for graduation, all that shit, you might want to chill because you're gonna be looking for a job. After you get the job, if that's something you even want to come back to, if it's something you want to come back to, go back to it then. I had a homie when I met him. The dude's name is Chronic. That's what his nickname is, Chronic. He didn't smoke weed though. He was a rapper, and he would come to my studio while I make beats for him. He was a truck driver. And one day I was talking to this man and I said, all right, dog, let's address the elephant in the room. Your name is Chronic, but you won't take the blunt. What's going on? And he was like, you know what, dog? It's the way he talked. Sometimes you just gotta put the trees to the side. You know what I'm saying, God? He spent a lot of time in New York. And he says, yo, I got 3 kids. Those is 3 miles and lifestyles that I got to provide for. I can't be blowing trees. He's like, see, you do music though. So you good with that. Ain't nobody drug testing you at the studio. But I can't, I got to stay clean because I got 3 miles and a wife. And I respected that shit because he was from the hood. And it was a studio in my room full of bloods. Everybody's smoking. And he stood to who he needed to be for the man that he was becoming in the midst of all that shit. And I respected that shit. Later on, he got into growing and got out of truck driving and became a caregiver, right? But now he smokes his shit again. His life is great. But he took the break when he needed to take it. He couldn't take a break in 95 and say he gonna be a caregiver in Cali with kids and not be running a risk. He didn't do it. But when laws changed in Cali, he was able to do what he needed to do, and he went to where he wanted to be. And one time we was at a studio session at my crib, and the shit was going around, and I would always be like, yo, Chronic, I would always say that as a joke, and one time he took that shit from me. And he was like, you know what, dog? I'm betting on me. And he fucking hit that shit. And then I respected that too, because he burned the ships and went into war. We're not going to retreat. So he got out of truck driving and went into growing. Him and his pop started a thing, and they doing their thing. But I look at that, and that's one of my OGs, and he went through his process of what he needed to do. I knew another dude to smoke weed, was becoming a respiratory therapist while he was selling fucking meth. Fucking meth dealer, going to school to be a respiratory therapist. Crazy. Was selling to some of the other students in that motherfucker. Crazy. But he said he had to stop smoking weed because he was about to graduate. And he became a respiratory therapist. Rest in peace to him. He got killed. But, sometimes you got to let go of shit. He still had that street shit going on. And that street shit got his ass killed. And so that's exactly what I'm talking about. You 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You need to either walk fully in your purpose or fully trick off your shit. And that's what I watched with him. He was walking in his purpose, taking care of everything. He had I ain't even bullshitting you, man. He had 18 kids. He went and bought a limo so he could take all his kids out at one time. Dude was just, yeah. So he was a respiratory therapist, selling meth, and still gangbanging. Lost his life.
Crazy juggling right there.
It is. And so I'm telling you, I be looking and I'm like, nah, man, I come from hip hop. You see how many of these motherfuckers dying? You don't be seeing country singers dying and shit. Ain't nobody having memorials with cowboy hats on top of it because they got shot by another fucking country singer and shit. Like, The fuck? But that's what happens in hip hop. Motherfuckers keep getting shot because they don't want to just rap and leave the streets alone. They still trying to be a tough guy in the streets and they losing their lives.
It would make some hell headlines. So
It
fucking
would.
Willie Nelson taken out by Blake Shelton over disputing cannabis in the parking lot.
I told him, you're not gonna smoke that shit in my limo. One thing led to another and shit. So you don't be seeing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I look in our community of hip hop and I'm like, prime example, let go of shit when you trying to walk in your purpose. Stop trying to be the old you and walk in your purpose as the new you. That shit ain't gonna work. It don't work. And I look at my life, and that's the reason why I said, man, I got to get rid of some of this persona that I'm putting out there. I'm accentuating this a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Because I know where my real purpose is. And my real purpose is not to answer questions on YouTube of people asking me if, 20 milligrams is going to get them high. If you're asking me that question, you shouldn't. This is where I say I don't want to encourage motherfuckers, because you're not even smart enough to know that there's no way I can tell you how many milligrams is going to get you high. So I'm not about to sit here and be somebody encouraging you to do something that you don't even fully understand. Right. So I just be like, man, I'm going to separate myself from that, and I'm going to step away from that shit, and I'm going to put myself where I need to be. I would be more around the stand-up comedians before I would be around cannabis content creator. Right. Like I've said I wanted to do stand-up comedy. I've done that before. It was one fucking time, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? And I was in a room of over 100 people in that bitch. I enjoyed that shit. It was for America's Got Talent. I wouldn't try it out for the show, dog.
What'd you do?
I swear to God, I told my wife, I was like, man, I want to do comedy. I think it was like, I might have said before the year is over or some bullshit. I gave myself a timeline. Like, I'm big on giving timelines when you have goals. Because if you don't have a timeline and a deadline, you probably won't fulfill your goal. So I'm all about timelines and timelines and deadlines. And so I said, like, within, let's say 6 months, I was like, I'm going to do stand-up comedy. And she was like, okay. So the next day, I was like, I figured out what to do. I'm going to try out for America's Got Talent. Because I'm not a stand-up comedian, so I'm not going to be in the clubs all late at night. I ain't going through the life of a fucking comedian. I just want to do it, but I don't want to be it. I just want to do it. So I said I was going to sign up. So I signed up, put all my paperwork in to go on audition. Started hitting the gym hard. Started going through all my jokes and shit. And the way I did it, I didn't do like punchline jokes, really. I more so just thought of shit that was funny when I was in crowds and I would talk and people would laugh. I'd be like, oh, just say that and do that shit. And that's exactly what I did. I went to the tryouts. I was there all fucking day. And somehow I missed my audition when all the comedians auditioned. I don't know how that happened. And so they put me in there with group acts. So it was like, say, dance squads, choirs, circus acts. It was all kind of bullshit inside that room, but it was over 100 people. And I knew when I auditioned that I was, especially at this time, I was way too, like, AGT, like America's Got Talent, was very, very, very family friendly. Now they let a little bit more raunchy stuff on there, but I knew I was too me to go on America's Got Talent. You know how hard it was for me not to say motherfucker and all that shit, right? And so I did my bid or whatever, and motherfuckers in the room was laughing so hard. And even the 3 people I was auditioning for, they were laughing so hard. And then one of them stopped me because I made a joke about basically saying, like, you ever wonder why the skin on your knee and the skin on your elbow is the same type of skin that's on your balls? And when I said that shit, the room got silent. Then everybody fell out laughing. And then the guy stopped, was like, okay, wait, okay. He was like, man, that was a great audition. I was like, I know y'all not going to call me back, goddammit. And they just started laughing. I knew I was too me. You know what I'm saying? I was slurring curse words like, listen, mom, if you listen, I was on that shit. But the point was, I fucking did it, right? I'm one of those people, if I say I'm going to do something, I really try to do it. And in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, I realized that I wasn't being that person, that I would want to do things and I'd have great ideas and I wouldn't follow through with it. And that's when I started researching recently about trying to understand why was it that if I put smoking off till the end of the day, I was more productive. And that was what got me into understanding things about dopamine, and how it affects your brain. There is a lot that goes into it, and understanding habits and identifying issues. And I asked myself, well, when did I really like stop completing my goals and being that dude that say I'm gonna do it and I do it? And I realized it was when my cannabis consumption went through the roof. I started working at a dispensary and I was able to smoke all fucking day, all night. That was the culture. That's what it was. And I can only speak for my life. Excuse me. I can only speak for my life. I ain't speaking for nobody else except for CannaMink. You know what I mean? And when I saw that association with it, I was like, oh man, it's the trees. It's fucking up I'm depleted of dopamine. There's studies that show that cannabis smokers produce less dopamine. There's studies for it. And so a lot of people be thinking that scientists are sitting in the lab trying to prove that weed is wrong. But they don't understand that the scientist in the lab probably, first of all, consumes cannabis himself or herself. And second of all, they're all about just doing research. But you know, the cannabis community, we're victims all the time. We always act like everyone's against us. Like nobody likes us and no one approves of us, this and that. And I disagree, especially when it comes to the medical industry. They're just proving stuff. It's not like they say, you have less dopamine, so don't smoke weed. No, this is what happens when you do this. This is called cause and effect. It has nothing to do with what you believe. It has nothing to do with the law. This is strictly cause and effect of biology. That's all it is. And so when you realize that, you have to know how to manipulate your shit. Just like when you in a car, right? I used to live in the mountains toward Big Bear. Excuse me. I used to live in Big Bear, and I learned how to manipulate my car. I don't have much gas, so I'm gonna put this bitch in neutral and just ride down and save some gas, right? You learn how to manipulate what you're doing to your favor. I had a BMW, it's an electric one. And I realized that I could drive up the mountain to an apple orchard and I wouldn't have much mileage left. And I realized that when I came back down, if I put my shit in neutral, my battery would actually charge back up to 80%. I learned how to deal with the vehicle that I had to my advantage. And that's what I'm doing as far as marijuana is I have to learn how to deal with it where it's not fucking me up, man. I have to be honest with myself. I'm not here to prove to nobody that I can handle my shit. If people are sitting there like they're weed like that, if all the people that's like, well, I smoke and I'm this and that, fucking congratulations, right? But for the people who are not where they want to be in life, you might want to try eliminating smoking for a second. All right. And I don't even mean forever. Eliminate it for the mornings. Eliminate it until a certain time, until you've done the things that you're supposed to do. If you haven't gone to the gym in 10 years, 2 years, how about saying, you know what? I'm not going to smoke until I worked out. Not going to do it. If you eat like shit, I'm not going to smoke until I prep myself some healthy foods. I'm going to stop going to the grocery store high, dumbass. Trying to lose weight and you going to smoke a joint before you walk inside the fucking grocery store and wonder why you walked out with fucking Doritos and ho-hos. Like, what kind of stupid shit is that? You're working against your own self. You overweight and want to lose weight and you keep smoking something that's stimulating the munchies for you.
So I just want to throw this in there. I've been giggling about this ever since you talking about the workout and stuff like that.
Right.
I think I could rope in all three of your loves there to one fun job for you, and you could call it basically 3 C's, basically cannabis, comedy, and cardio. you could have like a fucking like a cannabis, like you could consume maybe before class, and it'd be like a workout like type, you know what I mean, exercise program. Well, maybe he told some jokes during the the in-betweens or whatever, you know what I mean? It'd be like, man, I made it through the run, but that motherfucker killed me with the comedy, man. I almost passed out. I was already short of breath. He wouldn't let up.
That would be a dope concept. That's actually a dope concept. That's actually a dope concept, and it's not too far from shit that's happening now. You have workout classes where hip hop artists are performing for the workout class. So there'll be a class of like 300 people, and they'll have a hip hop artist come out and perform their songs while the motherfuckers is doing their step routines and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I got out of health and fitness because, yeah, I'm too raw to deal with people in health and fitness. Like I'm very straight to the point. I'm very straight to the point. Just as much as you said employers can look at your Facebook and IG, I would tell clients this. Because back in time, it was no IG, it was like Facebook. And I would tell motherfuckers like, well, I saw you went out with your friends this weekend. And you're going to tell me that you didn't cheat on your diet? You had a drink in your hand. You're not going to tell me that's the only time you cheated, right? That was just the only time you posted that shit. So I was just I was too me, to say the least. And then I also just didn't like it because I was doing a lot of personal training. So then my schedule was revolving around somebody else's schedule, right? And I really came to that conclusion when somebody said, I was like, all right, I wanted to get them in like when everybody else was there. This motherfucker, she was trying to get an appointment with me like 5 hours after everybody else was done almost. It was something stupid. And I knew she was open, but this chick had the nerve to say, well, no, I got to take my dog to the groomer. I was like, whoa, my schedule is not about to be revolved around a fucking dog getting his fucking hair clipped and shit, his fur clipped and his nails shaved off. And so I realized that my schedule was revolving around way too many other people. And so I didn't like that. And so I really wanted to get out of it. And fitness wasn't like music and entertainment was my thing, like growing up. That was my love. That's why I do my shows the way I do them now. It's entertainment. Like that's what I do a lot. People would ask me, I don't know how you could strip. Well, I did it because it was a form of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And I got paid to play with titties. But if you just X that part out and just stick with the fucking entertainment part, that was like the main motivation was I want to fucking entertain. I thought that shit was, it was a great way to entertain. Speaking of saying I followed through when I was a kid, I always said I was going to be a male stripper. I didn't even know male strippers existed when I was a kid. I thought it was so funny to say though, because I was so fucking skinny. Sorry, thought something walked on the side of me. Anyway, that was weird. But I always said I was going to be a male stripper because I was so skinny. So I would always make jokes. I was like an opposite joker. I would always say opposite of what I was. I had low self-esteem as a kid. I was like, family was poor. I was super dark. And back then when I was a kid, being dark skinned wasn't it. It was all about them light skinned motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Curly hair. Fuck them motherfuckers. So I was all dark. And I just didn't have confidence. I had big ass teeth and shit, dirty ass clothes that was way oversized. Like it was just, I didn't have the confidence. So I would always speak opposite of myself. And I just kept saying, oh, I'm sexy. I'm going to be a stripper, this and that and that. And it goes into what I was saying. If you say something enough, you start to believe it. My ugly ass started believing I was sexy. And I was like, man, I am a good looking motherfucker. And since I started believing that, girls started believing that. I started being able to get girls all of a sudden. And then I said, fuck it. I'm going to lift a weight. There's actually this girl I was dating. She got me into lifting weights. And so, when you're skinny and you lift a weight, you swell up easy. You be looking all buff and it's really just, you just put on some weight today, right? And that was kind of where I was at. And so then I was doing it and the music wasn't really popping. And somebody approached me and was like, hey, he was in the gym and he was one of the managers. He said, man, I've been seeing you coming here for like 3 or 4 months and I've seen your dedication and change. He was like, you ever thought about being a trainer? I was like, nah, man, I'm good. This was back in like 2001, 2002, roughly. It's 2002. I was like, no, 2002. And I was like, no, I'm good. And this motherfucker said, you sure, man? He was like, you could be making 30, 40 an hour. I was like, so you say if we do like a bench press, the chest is going to grow? Like, fuck that shit. $30 an hour in 2002. I'm 20 and I'm struggling with my music and shit. So I thought I was going to get that and just fund me while I was doing the music, and I got caught up in it. 15 years later, I was like, oh man, I'm a personal trainer and I ain't got no music completed. Fuck that shit. And so I got out of it and went into doing biometric health screenings because I, had to do some things financially for the family. So I still had to put everything on hold. And my wife, fucking man, shout out. I'm so grateful for her. I just told her when I was doing the biometric health screenings, I was like, dude, I am not happy. I fucking hate this. Everything about it. And she was like, but you're really good at what you do. I had this job over me lying, saying that I had a master's. No, I think I told them I had a bachelor's. I don't remember. I was always lying on my application saying I had masters and bachelors and this and that and that. But the real truth was I had a gang of personal training certifications. And when you really get deep into that nutrition, you learn a lot of shit that you can have conversations with full-blown doctors and fit in like there's no tomorrow. And so I became a biometric health screener and told them I was all this fancy shit. Now, I did go get a phlebotomy certification with them while I was hired there. But before I got to them, I ain't had none of this other bullshit. And I told her I just wasn't happy. This ain't what I want to do. I was like, I know I'm good at it because, and this ain't a thing. It's true. Anything I want to do, I can do it and I'm good at it. That's just how my life is. And I believe that for everybody. If you try to learn something and you genuinely put the time and effort into it, you'll become good at it. Every human has this ability. So I'm not saying this like I'm super dope. I'm saying this as I tapped into what everybody fucking has. It's the thing of learning. I'm a huge like information seeker. So I try to learn things and then I try not to ignore what I've learned and actually implement it. You got a lot of people learn shit and they don't implement nothing. You ever see those depressed people that's always putting up happy memes and shit? I'm like, why you not applying none of this bullshit you putting in your stories? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. So for me, I was telling her I'm not happy. And she said, well, what is it that you want to do? And I said, honestly, because I can't become a rapper now. I'm too old. Shit. So I said, I really want to be in the cannabis industry or the sex industry. Those are two industries I really enjoy. And she was like, all right, so what does that mean? What you going to do? And I was like, well, look, I heard about this thing called Cannabis Training University. At first I heard about Amsterdam or Oaksterdam. Sorry. Oaksterdam up north, up in Northern Cali, in the Bay Area. And I looked that up. It was like, oh, it's too rich for my blood. That shit is expensive. Then I would have had to move up north. And shit, a fucking studio apartment was like $2,500. I was like, fuck that. But when I went down that rabbit hole, it sent me to Cannabis Training University. And I could care less about people's opinions of that. I took that course and I learned so much that I didn't know as a smoker. People always, some people would tell me, oh, that's a fucking waste. I've been smoking for X amount of years. I'm like, bitch, you didn't have feet your whole life. That don't make you a fucking podiatrist, right? So you didn't go deep in to learn about the shit. And so when I got into the Cannabis Training University, I didn't know anything about like infusing, like how to infuse butter. All the edibles I had, motherfuckers was putting leaf inside of the fucking brownie mix and you eating, spitting out stems and shit. Like, so I didn't know nothing about like, wait a second, you telling me I could just get some fucking coconut oil? Wait a second. What's this tincture shit you talking about? Right? I didn't know about none of that shit. And so when I learned about those things, I was like, damn, that's some cold shit. Okay. There's more to it than this. Like, hey, I'm a pothead. I didn't know all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it opened my eyes up to that there were people like you out there, like people with real education. I listen to you talk. I listen to fucking Smiley talk sometime. And I'm like, this is like listening to a fucking scientist. I would listen to your panel of people that you have on your show. And that's why I told Smiley before, I was like, I don't go on there because I don't have anything to offer. Like, I'm listening to you guys and I'm fucking sitting there with Google, like, Google, what is my cilia? My cilia? What did he say? Like, I don't even know what some of the shit motherfuckers is saying. So I'm going looking, having to research shit. And I say that out of respect to like, man, you motherfuckers are smart. And I didn't know that people like you existed until I took the Cannabis Training University, to be honest. I thought everybody was just fucking, yeah, man, smoke some weed, dude. That's what I thought the shit was. And then I found out that all these fucking nerdy motherfuckers existed, but they didn't fit the description of Urkel. Like, motherfuckers wasn't nerds, wasn't screech, but you had the screech knowledge. What the fuck? I didn't know you guys were here. And so that shit opened my eyes up. And so I said I wanted to get into it, kept doing the cannabis training. I kept doing biometric health screenings until the law fully changed in Cali. I didn't want to work in trap shops and shit. They kept getting raided and all this bullshit. And there was one legal place in my county, which was in San Bernardino, and they had been there for years. So I did my research on these motherfuckers, realized they was licensed and blah, blah, blah. The dad was real powerful. That was in the company because he had owned like so many strip clubs. So the dude had like mad money and mad clout. And he also was like the kingpin of like, they called him the kingpin of vices because he was all about vices. So cannabis just went right in line. So they was like, well, we know he knows how to handle vices. Let's give him the license. And he had it for years. So then I said, you know what? I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna try to get a job here. So I put in an application. 3 months later, these motherfuckers called. Hey, you still want to work here? I was like, I forgot I even gave y'all motherfuckers application. And I said that exactly. And the guy started laughing. It was like, wow. Okay. He was like, yeah, I want to get you in here and talk to you. And I was just like, all right, for sure. I went in there and talked to him and I started working in there. It was a piece of shit money, but I wanted to find my place in the industry, dude. And as I say, when I was in there, I started listening to customers and I think I found my place. You know what I'm saying? I think people need to hear a different word that comes along with cannabis. And it's not anti, it's a caution. It's a cautionary word of say, be mindful, be open with yourself and be honest with yourself. Because I always say like, motherfuckers be wanting weed to save them. I said on my channel, like motherfuckers be out there expecting weed to be like Captain Save-A-Ho. Like it's going to save you from all your problems because you keep hoeing yourself out to problems. Fucking close your legs and stop letting problems fuck you. Stop bending over and letting problems fuck you in the ass like that. You hoeing yourself out to problems and then you want to go smoke, but you keep repeating the same process. You fucking with the same people. You watching the same shit on IG, TikTok. You doing the same shit and then thinking that smoking is helping you. I tell motherfuckers, dude, you know how fun it is to smoke weed when your life is in order? That is a high that no one could ever give you because you're already high off of life. Motherfuckers is smoking weed in the dark and expecting it to light a candle for them and give them light. If you fucking smoke weed with your life together, your life is you smoking in LEDs, motherfucker. Your shit is bright. Your shit is bright. But motherfuckers don't be wanting to do the discipline with it. Motherfucker got patience to wait for a plant to grow, but they ain't got patience to finish a course so they can be qualified to do more than what they doing for themselves financially now. Motherfuckers ain't got the patience to listen to nothing else, but they got the patience for a fucking
Can't resist this. Weed's got me stupid tonight, brother. I'm sorry.
Hey man,
you talking about like taking classes and stuff, and I'm sure you've heard lately all the funny bullshit about the Oklahoma, the Cowboy Cup, and the Ganja program and stuff.
No, enlighten me.
Oh,
been in my bubble, dude. Enlighten me.
Oh man, there's been at the Cowboy Cup. There's a big to do where the Ganja, which is like a trained cannabis connoisseur, like basically club, and they went to the Oklahoma Cup and told everybody basically they sucked and everything was moldy. But I sit here and I've listened to you talk about taking classes, and again, the two things you wanted to do, or two more things you wanted to do, cannabis and porn is you could start a class and call it the ganja booty, and you can educate about good weed and ass.
My man's gonna have me out here starting businesses and shit. Like, man, Eagle told me mix booty and weed together. But hey, that ain't far-fetched from me. When I owned a gym, I tried to start a swinger boot camp of just swingers coming and doing a fitness boot camp. So what you saying ain't too far away from the way my brain runs, dog. It's not too far off, man. It's not too far off. But I've been enjoying my journey for the cannabis industry. All bullshit aside, like I've been. I know I make I say stuff about the certain part of it, but like I say, that's the recreational side more so. You know what I'm saying? Like I've enjoyed, excuse me, the relationship I've been able to build with you, relationship I've been able to build with Smiley. There's people in the chat, Detroit River Rat, T Barrington up in this motherfucker. These are people I keep restraints. I see these motherfuckers almost every morning, you know, through chat, but I see them every morning. So these people have become part of my life. And so I appreciate that, you know, so that's why I'm like, no, I'm not stepping away from the new part of my content. I'm stepping away from all the old shit and the shit that I was trying to keep from the old shit and mix in with the new. Because the truth is, y'all motherfuckers fuck with me for who I am, not for what I smoke. And I appreciate that. So that's what I pay attention to. And so it gives me the confidence to say, like, man, follow your fucking purpose. Follow your purpose. Because here's the thing that I look at, like, following your purpose, right? A lot of people are afraid because they think they special and they think that no one will fuck with their idea. That's what I mean when I say they special. Like no one else thinks like, right? Like just how you just made that joke about like what I should do as far as like putting booty and weed together, right? My brain runs that way. So it's like a person that won't tell a joke is the person who thinks they're the only one who thinks that's funny, right? And that's how people are with their dreams. They'll think, oh, I'm the only one that's this, or they'll be even more dumb and say, oh, somebody already did it. Like they've never walked inside of a fucking food store and saw 80 different types of bread and 80 different milks. Like it don't matter if someone else is doing it. Why don't you do it? Right? So it's showing you that someone else can already do it, that it can be done. Right? So I just look at my shit and I say, you know what? I need to find the other people that I can connect with. One time I was watching a news clip or some shit, and they had busted like a kiddie porn ring circle. And I thought to myself, if those 8 motherfuckers could find somebody else like them for kiddie porn, I don't think I should have that hard of a problem finding other people I could identify with that want to smoke weed and still be responsible. If these guys can find someone like them, I'll be damned if I'm gonna let a kiddie porn guy connect with people and I can't. I'm not gonna let that motherfucker have that success. I need to find people I can connect with. He did it. I know I can do it. God damn it. So that's why, and I'm laughing with it, but I'm dead fucking serious. That was like a huge eye opener to me that there is someone like everyone. Plain and simple. So my job is to go out and seek those people that I'm trying to connect with this part of who I am. So like everybody's not going to connect with me for say swinger stuff. That's not where it's at. I want people to connect with me for self-improvement, for like a look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Facing yourself. I learned that from fucking Never Ending Story and shit. You know what I'm saying? Atreyo had to face himself. That was like his final test, was after he talked to the oracles and shit. It was like, now you got to face yourself in the mirror and see who you are. But a lot of us, we die in a swamp of sadness. If you remember that from the Never Ending Story, it was a swamp. Everything was fucked up. And it was Atreyo and his horse Artex, and they're going through this swamp. And it was a swamp of sadness, and anybody who would give in to that sadness, the swamp would consume them. And as Atreyo and his horse are going through the swamp, Artex, the horse, starts sinking. He stops moving and starts sinking. And he was giving in to the swamp and all the sadness that was around him. And a lot of us go through life and we give in to the sadness that's around us, and we're fucking sinking, dude. And I see that shit. I see it clear as day. And as I say, when I see stuff, I try my best to pay attention to it and do something about it if it's there. And I know, and if it hits me, and I know everybody, I'm not saying everybody needs to focus on what I'm doing. The world is a place where we all can't focus on the same thing, and we also can't all ignore the same thing, right? So it might not be your job to go out and fight for fucking whales, right? It's not my job to go out and fight for human trafficking. It's not the human trafficker's job to fight for cannabis. We all have our own jobs of what we need to do for what we see and that we feel a void needs to be filled. And so that's where I'm at with my shit is I gotta fill this void that I see that's happening amongst my people. Because most of the cannabis consumers I know, we good motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And so why be a good motherfucker that's depressed? Why be a good motherfucker that's not at their full potential? Why be a good motherfucker that's walking around with anxiety and shit? You got anxiety, it's because something ain't right in your life. It ain't because you didn't smoke weed, or it might be, but that ain't anxiety. That's withdrawals. So those are a fine line. There's a lot of things in life that are a fine line. You know what I'm saying? Being buried and growing, that's a fine line. A lot of us be going through shit in life and we think we're being buried. We all put seeds in dirt before, and we know the difference between planting a seed and burying something. So maybe some of the shit you going through is you being planted. Yeah, it's going to be dark. That's what happens when you put soil over a seed. Yeah, you're going to feel some heat. That's what happens when there's a light over. You might get a couple fucking mites here and there, right? You might get a little mold here and there. Cut that piece off and keep growing the plant. You're going to grow. You're not being buried. You're being planted. But if you wake up and you see yourself in a casket being buried in life, you're going to be dead to the universe. And you're going to wonder why things don't click for you. Well, it's because you're a dead energy. So maybe if you wake up and you see yourself being planted, see some organic nutrients being sprinkled on your motherfucking ass, maybe you'll start growing because you're awakening your energy to connect with the energy of the universe for it to conspire to work in your fucking favor. But if you're disconnected from the universe, you're going to need a lot of weed to smoke to get out of your depression and anxiety. And I'll tell you, it ain't going to work. That's why you still got to smoke tomorrow. Clearly, that shit ain't working. Smoke and be happy. That shit is fun. That's where I'm at. You're on mute.
Of course I am. I did, you know, I dig that, man. You know, things are dark because you're being planted for something better. You know what I mean? This is just phase one. I dig it. You know, that's a good outlook. 100%.
Yeah, and it takes patience. You know what I'm saying? It takes patience. It's not you. Obviously, you're not gonna get a plant overnight. You know what I'm saying? It takes patience. It takes patience to learn how to grow a plant. So guess what? It's gonna take patience to learn how to grow as a man or as a woman. You need to learn how to do that. You're not gonna just wake up and be a perfect, or you're not gonna wake up and be the best version of yourself. It just doesn't happen like that. Like I was telling my wife, I see a person that I want to be, but it's not just a wake up guy. It's not, I'm gonna just wake up and be that guy. I have to work at it. So if I'm like, okay, I need to get back to changing eating habits and this and that. I went from not consuming meat or dairy. This has nothing to do with veganism. This has to do with what I felt was a healthy thing for my temple. And I didn't consume meat and dairy for years. Now, if a cow was walking down the street, I'm killing that motherfucker. I ain't got no fucking self-control. None. Why not? My sleeping patterns are fucked up. People don't understand when you don't sleep, it fucks with your ability to control your cravings. You ever notice when you don't get no sleep, you want salty foods and shit the next day? It's interesting because I want to study some stuff on sleep and how it affects you. And so that's the thing, motherfuckers don't want to learn everything about. I've even been learning about other herbs and shit, dude, that can be smoked, vaped, infused. Why stop at THC? And all the other shit out there. The motherfuckers just stop at the THC with. I was like, wait a second. Nature got some cool shit for us, man. Let me kind of explore some other things here, man. See what else we got up in this bitch, right? And so I started doing that shit. I'm looking around for other shit, just trying to explore and learn nature, man. I'm in a place right now where I feel like the more information I can obtain and apply, the more unstoppable I can be toward life, toward energy, toward negativity. There's a huge imbalance in our world if you look at it from the outside of how media presents it to us. They show us that everybody's negative and this and that. But the truth is, we're very peaceful people, right? For every shooting that you see, there's probably a fucking 3 billion people that didn't shoot anybody. So I'm not going to sit here and act like because that one cop killed that guy, that the other millions of cops didn't kill anyone today. You're not going to make me think that this is what's happening, because I saw a cop today and he didn't fucking kill me. So it's all about perspective. Things don't happen to you, right? They happen depending on how you look at it. They happen for who you are. I always tell people we all sitting in the same building with a different fucking view. And so all situations, the outcome all has to do with you. It ain't no universal shit. It's you. Some people, they have a loved one get killed and they go and retaliate and kill the other person. Right? I watched my cousin, she's older than me. So, you know, like in black families, if you got a certain age gap between cousin, you just become auntie. Like, you too old to be a cousin. You a fucking auntie. So she like an auntie, you know what I mean? And her son got killed, my cousin. He gets killed. I watched this woman hug his murderer. What the fuck? I couldn't do it. So that goes to situations that happen. The effect of them all have to do with how you perceive stuff. It's not a universal effect whatsoever. I watch people deal with certain tragedies in ways I could never deal with. Right? And it's for where you are mentally, where you are emotionally, spiritually. Right? And so I'm not subscribed to any religion or anything like that. I have principles that I live by. You know, do your shit, live your life. As long as you're not taking from anyone, hurting anyone, or making someone do something against their will, you're probably not doing anything wrong. You're probably good. Even if you want to be somebody on crack out on the corner, and that's your life, motherfucker. Who am I to tell you not to be cracked up? That is not my job. That is not my place. Be wanting different for you doesn't mean that it's my place to judge you or tell you not to be this, or, you know, that that's what you want to do. I like to smoke weed. Smoking weed don't have me stealing nobody's VCR or nothing like crack does, but to each his fucking own, right? Like, I ain't here to judge you. So I just live by my rules, and I keep shit chill, and I try to be that positive light to people like me. Like I always say, I ain't talking to people. I've had people get on my videos and tell me shut the fuck up and this and that and that. It's fine. I wasn't talking to your motherfucking ass any goddamn way. So I'll take 1,000 people telling me to shut up just to talk to one person. That's fine. I wasn't talking to your ass anyway. People have a habit of thinking that their opinions are important to me, and it's not. People want to argue online. That's the thing. Everybody think they a fucking Simon Cowell now. Like they the judges and shit. Oh, that was bloody awful. Everybody think they that motherfucker. Everybody want to be a Cisco and fucking Ebert, right? And don't nobody give a fuck about your opinions, about their life. I don't give a fuck about nobody's opinion about my life. I remember when my wife and I, we did a show on Playboy for Playboy TV. And it was a swinger show. We did like 2 seasons. And I remember I was training this girl, and she was a doctor. And we started talking about like strippers and stuff like that. And she said, yeah, I teach my, you know, all the youngsters in my family that, you know, you don't need to use your body to make money and stuff. You can do something else. And she started talking down upon strippers and porn industry and all this stuff, right? So I'm just listening to her talk. And then I just told her, I was like, well, because I had been a stripper. I had done technically porn for Playboy. And I said, well, I challenge your thought, and I challenge you to just maybe pull up to the stables and get off your horse. Because the brain is part of your body. Your hands that you use to take blood pressure, whatever the fuck you do as a doctor, is part of your body. So don't put yourself on a high horse because you didn't use the titty to make money and someone else did. What makes you superior, right? And this is how I look at shit. Let people live their motherfucking lives. If they're not supposed to be there, they'll get out when they're supposed to get out. There's people who work in the office and they're not supposed to be there. So how can we now put the guy who goes to work at an office and hates his fucking life above the fucking stripper or porn star that's going to work and liking or hating it? Everybody goes through shit.
You think that chronic based Raiders watching going, God damn it, I knew he looked familiar.
That's happened before, man. That's happened before. That's happened before.
Wait a minute. I
Funny
do
story.
remember you now.
I swear to you, funny story. That we took our son to the hospital, to the ER. The nurse, this guy, he kept saying, man, you guys look so familiar. And then he literally said, not just one, but you both together. This was maybe like a year after we did the show, roughly. And so I started laughing, and I just made a joke, but it wasn't a joke. I was like, you watch porn? And he started laughing. That was the end of it. And then at this same hospital, I told you I started doing biometric health screenings. So I went to this hospital, and during the biometric health screenings, so what that is, you're checking the health of all the employees for their health insurance. That's what that shit essentially boils down to. So we got this contract with that same hospital. It's a 7-day Adventist hospital at that. So the dude comes in, and I recognized him right away because just the way he is, he's a white guy, and he has very vibrant tattoos on him. And so he sticks out to me. Like, vibrant tattoos stick out to me. That's like where I get jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers be like, man, if you could change your skin, what would you change to it? White. Why white, man? Have you seen they tattoos? White. Like, I can't get a rainbow on my arm and it look like a rainbow. Get the fuck out of here. So this dude is very vibrant with his skin and his tats. Sticks out like a sore thumb. He comes in, he comes to me, I'm taking his blood and shit, and he starts saying that same shit. Hey, you look so familiar. I don't know where from. My wife worked here too. She comes out, and then he says, oh, that woman looks familiar. And I started laughing. I was like, all right, dog, this is our second time running into each other. And I said, you said this to us before, and now you saying it here, and you don't even know that that's my wife. So I'm going to just ask you a question, and you ain't got to answer nothing else. Are you subscribed to Playboy TV? And his eyes got big. He was like, yeah. I was like, all right. That's where you know us from. And he was like, oh, dude. And so that was the only time we ever got well, outside of a swinging environment, that's the only time we got recognized. But when that show first came out, we would go to swinger parties. We were fucking celebrities, dude. We were fucking celebrities. Like, it was like people that probably would have never talked to us in normal life was coming up and approaching us and shit. Like, hey, you want to drink? Hey. We walk in the fucking party and you hear somebody yell across the party, you guys are from that Playboy show, huh? And I'm like, who? So, yeah, we was getting mad attention when that shit first came out, but only in the swinging community, right? So it wasn't like just, oh, you fucking Stater brothers and people like, hey, I've seen your dick before. It wasn't like that. It was more just in that world we were known. That was
kind of just like Canna. It's just like this, man. And you get, I'm sure you go to a Canna cup or whatever, you You get treated like CannaMink. I mean, you go to the swinger
haven't.
party, and I'm sure it's quite the different call, man.
I go to cannabis events. I'm nobody. Uh, I'm nobody. I remember one time this homeless dude walked up to me in the parking lot and he asked me for some money. And my son was like, "Was that one of your fans asking for an autograph?" I was like, "Oh, you're so kind." I was like, "No, that was a guy asking me for 50 cents." But no one recognizes me there. No one recognizes me. But I will say, when I say if like I come on your chat or something, or I go like say Basement Auto Flowers or just anywhere, because I'll tell you, the people that's in the chat for the cannabis community, man, you guys are some fucking awesome people. I wish I had my beat machine over here because I would definitely give y'all because y'all support the shit out of us. And I'm dead fucking y'all motherfuckers. I don't even know if y'all sleep. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I don't even know if y'all sleep because I'll see you guys on Eagle shit all goddamn night, and I go to sleep and wake up to do my show, and y'all on my shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I go over to Instagram 3 hours later, and y'all commenting on shit over there too. So I don't know how y'all doing this shit. I don't know what kind of sativas y'all motherfuckers is smoking, but I'll tell you, man, I know on behalf of everybody that's creating content and for the cannabis community or anything to it, man, good looking out. You guys are fucking amazing. And I mean that from like the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fucking I enjoy the conversations I have with you guys. You guys make a motherfucker feel seen, if that makes sense. The other day, my daughter was in the hospital, and I had just posted a picture like in my stories of us at the hospital, and she had these tubes up her shit, and just the love and energy that I got from that, you guys delivered, to keep it 100. Because I had told my wife, because she was like, "You put that picture up," and she was like, "You don't never put like that type of personal shit on your life up there. You didn't really say anything. You just put that picture up." And I was like, "You want to know the real truth of why I did that?" And she was like, "Why?" I was like, "I wanted good energy. I wanted to get some positive energy to go toward her situation." And I've grown to a point where I don't give a fuck where that positive energy comes from. I told you I grew up in church, and I used to be in church, and I didn't really believe it. And when I got out of church, I was like, fuck Christianity, fuck all that shit. If I sneezed and someone said, "God bless you," I'd be like, take that shit back. I didn't want none of that shit, right? But I've grown to respect where people's energy comes from now. And I'm like, if you want to throw a blessing from me from your religion, I will take it. Because if you really go to my real theory, y'all all serving the same God any motherfucking way. So I'm like, I'll take it from anybody. This is positivity. When I say universe, you say God. We saying the same shit. Whatever. There might be a minor tweak here and there in our belief. We saying the same shit pretty much. And that's how I look at shit. And so I told my wife I wanted positive energy. And so I just put that up. I didn't ask for anything. So everybody that sent me a message, I appreciate you from the bottom of my fucking heart, because I didn't ask you to do that. And you did it out the kindness of your heart, out of your energy, right? And then it plays into what I say of following my purpose. When you follow your purpose, people want good shit for you, right? When you was having technical difficulties with your shit, people wanted positive shit for your shit to get back on the air. They wanted you to be happy, because you being happy gives them the energy that keeps them happy. It's a fucking circle of energy. It's not somebody like, we all use each other. There's nothing wrong with that. We all use each other. You just got to make sure you're using people for the right shit and you're doing it the right way, right? You with people because of something they do for you. You don't want to be with somebody who's an asshole, or be around someone that's an asshole, or someone that's just dormant. They're not giving you no kind of energy. You want somebody who feeds back and forth with you, right? And so that's where I appreciate everybody, because everybody was sending me some fucking positivity and shit. You know what I'm saying? And was giving me good energy. She's out the hospital. She doing better. She going to see a lung specialist this Monday, but she's doing way, way better. You know what I'm saying? It was a point she wasn't talking right. She was slurring words, couldn't stand up. She was fucked up. I wanted some fucking positive energy. And people gave it to me. And that came from me putting in my work of giving them positive energy. It's a circle that goes around. You know what I'm saying? It was people I've never even heard from sending me messages. And I was like, oh shit. I had to go in my requested fucking inbox to answer a lot of people, because I had never even seen them say anything to me before. I was like, man, And I only got like 8.5 people on my 850 people on my IG, right? But a huge amount of them fucking reached out. So I just say that to say that, like, our community that we have here, man, we got some good-hearted people. You know what I'm saying? Like some really, really good-hearted people. Anytime that I've been going through shit, I remember one time I went off on my live or something, and you hit me up afterward and sent me some good energy and was just like, hey man, don't let the people get to you and, you know, X, Y, and Z. Like, you holler back at me with good energy. Grower Joe, same way. Uncle Rick from Let's Be Buds, 420, 420 Green Goddess. Like, these people, Smiley, these people hit me up. Cheddar Bob, Thunder Dan, these motherfuckers are hitting me up. T Barrington be sending shit. Martial artists be sending all kind of like positive shit. So I be appreciating the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, so that's why I say for me, I'm like, well, shit, we got good people here. So if I can help in any way, or let me rephrase that. I'm not going to say in any way. If I can help in the way that I know that I have value in the most, I'm going to do it. And so that's what I'm doing, you know? So I haven't, and since I erased all that shit off my channel, my subscriber count ain't fucking went up at goddamn all. That shit went down. Like, and I said in my video, put up a video like this week, and was talking about your mindset for 2023. And at the end of the video, I said, I was like, I'm talking to y'all about growth. I'll be honest, I've deleted all the cannabis content off of my channel. I've only left the motivational things. I don't even know if I said that. I just think I said I deleted all the cannabis stuff. I think within like 3 seconds, I lost like 6 subscribers. I was like, yeah, like it, you know, and not fuck them, fuck it. And I say that because,
but do you think those were the ones as you were talking about? Like you were talking about, there's a crowd of people and there's always those few going,
no, not them, not them.
You think that was the few that dropped out?
Not at all, because I had just put up like 2 or 3 videos of me growing some weed inside of an arrow garden. So I had attracted a gang of new people from those videos. And I did that purpose. I had told my wife, I need some bait so I can get more attention on my channel. So I started putting that out. Instantly, it got me, I think, like 30 or 40 subscribers or something within a very small amount of time just from those videos. And, you know, for my channel, that's big, you know? And so I was like, okay, cool. So I already knew some people were following me for that. How I say, like, we all use each other, right? And if I'm not useful to you in the way that you need me to be useful to you, you should probably bounce. And so I understood that. I didn't take it personal. Like, if some of those people were, you know, he's not doing an arrow garden, so I don't really have a reason to follow him. I was trying to see the weed grow in the arrow garden, right? I ended up getting like 2 ounces off that shit. But yeah, so I mean, it went down. And I told my wife, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna be looking at my analytics, because I'm an analytics person. That's how I break down and know what kind of shit I should be doing, what content I should be doing.
That's the worst, because then you are, you know, and take this with whatever. Then, because I don't look at my, you know, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, the basics. I mean, views, comments, but the demographics and shit like that, I don't, because at some point, and I'm already kind of guilty of this. I want to get with this in a minute. I'm already kind of guilty of this, man. You know, feeding to what you think you want versus the dream you have. And then once you start considering the analytics, it's like people telling us, you know what I mean? When I want to be this, and then the analytics are like, "No, man, you can't do that." You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fuck you. You don't know what I'm capable of. I'm glad you don't like this. Don't show up. You know what I mean? I'm glad you can't do
that
this.
Part. I be on that too. I'd be like, well, fuck them, right? This is what I do on my analytics, though. I look at it to know what to talk about. So I always say it depends on what, like I was saying earlier, it's about how you are, what a situation is. So when I look at my analytics, like I started fucking up when I deleted shit, started looking at the subscriber base and who was on this video. But what I would really look at on my analytics, what was the age group? How are people finding my videos? Are they finding it through a search, a YouTube recommendation? Are they finding it from a click from another video? Because I put a box up to send them there. So I'm looking at those things. And then I'm also looking to see what's the retention of how long people are on there, to see that. I'm trying to see, how are they looking at it? Are they looking at this on a computer? Or are they looking at this on their mobile phones? So then I can understand what kind of quality I need there. So like, just say with that, at first I was stressing myself out. like, oh, the quality of my camera don't look good and this and that and that. I was going through the roof with this shit, right? And then I realized that I was trying to get my quality, first of all, in 4K and on a bigger screen. The average person is watching at 1080 max, but most people are 720 to save data rates and shit. And it's on a small screen. So all the DPI, the dots per inch are smaller. They're closer in. So I'm more full on a smaller screen. So I started realizing that. So I stopped being so anal over the look of the video. I also realized that a lot of people weren't watching. They were just listening while they were doing something else. So it don't matter what the fuck I look like. Like, they're not even watching your shit. They just listening to you. And so I started looking at the analytics for shit like that. I would look at certain questions and make a whole fucking video off of one question. And I would do things like that. I've had days, honestly, where I make like, like I said, I was going live every morning, about 2 hours roughly every day. And I was like on a short day for a while. My wife had to get on me. Like, bitch, you need to get off this motherfucker. We got shit to do. I was like, all right, motherfucker. All right. But before it would be 2-3 hours, I would get on that motherfucker and go. And I had nothing planned until morning of. I would put some games together, but I had no topics. And so my topics were strictly freestyled off of comments that were left on my shit. I'd see a comment and go off on a rant about it. And not like a negative rant, I would just feed off of it. I'd see somebody say something, I'd improv and make jokes, make up songs. I felt like that was where I was at. And what I realized there is I didn't have to worry about content because I was following my purpose. So I didn't have to worry about nothing. No matter what, you're going to have content because you're doing what you're supposed to do. So you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Every day, and sometimes I would title videos, I ain't got nothing to say. 3-hour fucking live stream. Because I didn't have shit to say. Sometimes I'd make jokes just so I could say, or make a video just so I could say one joke. I'd have one joke in my head and I'd make a whole video just so I could say this one fucking joke. That's how my mind be running. I literally run at stuff like from a comedic standpoint of view that's talking truth. That's why I love people like Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams. They speak about true shit that's going on and they put it in a funny way. They're not punchline comedians. They're not like, all right, two guys walk into a bar, right? They're not those type of guys. They're the type of dudes that they look at the truth of what's happening and they say it, but they're naturally comical. They're naturally funny guys. And so for me, I try to focus that on that. And I remember I was watching a Dave Chappelle thing and it was at a time when I was like, this is when I came to the realization that when you're doing your purpose, your creativity will make way for you. And Dave Chappelle, he said that a comedian told him, you'll go very far as long as you're saying something that's relevant to the people. And that's what I try to stick with. I try to stick with, I can put all my jokes in, I can put all my fucks and shits and blow me's and all these fucking curse words in. And as long as I'm saying something in between that, that is of use and has value, I have nothing to worry about. And that's what I told myself when I deleted all these videos. I literally looked at all of my top performing videos and I deleted those first. I got rid of the hardest ones first. Because at first I was just going, get rid of the little ones. And then I was going like, oh, you know what? I'm going to put it on another channel. Motherfucker. If you really think you're going to be the person that you're supposed to be, you ain't even going to have time for that channel. For no cannabis channel. You're too busy doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? And so now when it comes to the cannabis content, I'm just a viewer of it. I'm a viewer, but I'm not necessarily a cannabis creator, but I create content that's a safe place for cannabis consumers. Because when you look at a lot of the other motivational speaker figures, for one, they try to give the image of being a perfect person. And I told you I grew up in church. That's that preacher type shit to me. Instead of showing that you a man with flaws and that you're a human being, you rather act like you on this. I ain't gonna say that because I don't want to be offensive to people. But I don't even know how else to say it though.
Hey, rip, man.
Okay, I'll be honest. Okay, I'll just be honest. Right. I feel like a lot of people, like in the motivational world, a lot of pastors, they try to mimic themselves off of Jesus. And people always said Jesus was perfect. Right. And I can only go from what I know. This ain't an argument for church. This is just what I know. Jesus disappeared. Jesus disappeared in the Bible from the age 12 to 30. That is 18 years of a person not being documented. And you think that that's what he is perfect? And so a lot of people try to walk around with this image of being perfect when it comes to the motivational world. And me, I'm like, no, I'm going to fill in the blanks for 18 years. He was probably doing some human shit that some people might not approve of. He probably had to find himself, because you don't just pop up at 30 and be what he was at 30 according to the Bible. That takes some fucking planning, some discipline. You got to go through some shit, right? So in my mind, it's impossible to pop up and be that powerful and be a perfect fucking man. What the fuck is perfect anyway, right? So I live my shit as like, nah, homie, this is what I'm going through. Tell me a problem that Tony Robbins has. You don't know none because he don't say them. I don't want to be that. I want to give you the same inspiration that Tony does, but you're getting this inspiration because you're seeing my growth. So this deleting my shit is part of my public growth. And I'm hoping that certain people in their lives can look and say, I need to pivot. I don't give a fuck what department it's in.
I'm in that right now. I'm in that pivot moment myself, to be honest with you. You know, right. If you have a lot of people, if you've been watching, if you haven't seen in my face, you know, I don't know how you can. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. I listen, like I said, I listen to a lot of motivational stuff too. And the one book I've listened to like 100 times, Napoleon Hill, Think Rich, Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You know, he talks about, you know, and I think I may be revealing the secret here, but you know what I mean? But he said basically, you know, the dream won't come to fruition basically unless what you're putting forth has some type of value. You know what I mean? And I look at the project and all, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to, you know, I want to make sure, just like you're saying, the legacy I'm leaving, you know, with the project I'm working on, right, has to have value for it to continue and to have success, right, you know, for me. Right. And I've really kind of looked around and, you know, especially it's, you know, some stuff. And I thought, you know, I've been critical, you know what I mean? And I look, because I at some point, I almost think the world, if you will, has stopped turning. You know what I mean? And it's like just kind of stuck in this place and it's got a weird vibe. You know what I mean? Right. And I'm trying to reflect on what's going by. And, you know, I see a lot of what you're saying, you know what I mean? And it's hard to get mad at anything when you're the one standing by letting shit happen. You know what I mean? So in my case, I think a lot of it is, you know, life's threw me some curveballs this last year and I've chose to kind of sit back and, you know, at one point you talked about not having content. You know what I mean? Same thing.
Right.
Fortunately,
Right.
I ain't got no content. I'm gonna show up and be a box tonight. We nerd world. So if I just show up and just be a box, man, do I have any room to fucking complain about anything?
I feel you.
No, no, I
I feel
don't.
you. Right.
So at some point, I've got, if I can't be present, I need to shut the project down, or be more present
I say,
to
ask
show.
yourself, what do you want?
Uh,
I know that's some cliche bullshit. Like, oh, he's a deep one, but no. Ask yourself, well, what's the point? Plain and simple. That's what I do. I ask myself, even when I wake up, why the fuck have you not killed yourself? Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. Why the fuck? Like, you really woke up to try to, stress out on paying fucking bills and shit? Like, watching your diet, like, that's some bullshit. Why not just end that shit? Find some train tracks and lay the fuck down. Why not? What do you want out of this fucking life? Right. And that's what I had to do when it came to my relationship with my wife. It came to my relationship with my kids. It came to this channel, this relationship with myself. Why do I even want to fuck with me? Right. Like, those questions is where you gonna find your real answer for what you should be doing, because just like people have told me, because I had a few people that I mentioned what I was gonna do with my channel, and all of them had like a common phrase to me. And it was like, dude, I don't think you should do that because you're on to something with what you're doing. That's what everybody said. I'm on to something. And I feel the same with you, is that you're on to something. You created a platform that brings together, as I said earlier, I'll watch shows and it'd be like 10 motherfuckers on there, and everybody's growing the same fucking plant with a different approach. And you've been able to bring all those people together. And it's you like a white Don King, like you just bringing motherfuckers together, like you be politicking shit somehow, you know what I'm saying? And I think that shit is, first of all, gangster, and second of all, I think it really could go. It really can. I'm not going to use the word could. I'm going to say it can go somewhere and will go somewhere if you ask yourself that question and then get the answer and put everything around it that you can. Everything that you can. Like, even when it came to my shit, I had to think like, man, what kind of effort are you putting in on your channel? Right? I had to ask myself that shit. I had to ask myself, why you not doing certain thing with your channel, talking to myself, there's a million other motherfuckers who are doing way more. Right? It's like if you was going for a boxing match, like, all right, well, while you not training, just know the other dude is in the ring right now throwing hands at the bag. He gonna fuck you up. And that's how it is with life. I don't know if you follow Basement Growth Show. It used to be Basement Auto Flowers, but that dude is one of the most consistent cannabis creators, content creators on IG that I've seen, period, hands down. I watched his shit go to, like, I don't know what number this motherfucker's at right now, but he was at like 125,000 followers last time I checked. And that shit happened within like 2-3 weeks, homie. 2-3 weeks. He's one of the most consistent creators I know. And so I say, well, while I talk to myself, I say, well, while you're not putting that work in on your shit, somebody is eating you for lunch right now, dude.
That's for sure. That's a Jeff Lowenfeld saying right there, man. He always said, he's been doing that article now for almost 40 years every week. And I tell you, man, the reason why I do it every week, because if I don't show up, we talk about the old paper style articles. He says, man, if I don't show up, I'm gonna put somebody else's picture in that box. Somebody else's picture in that box.
Sure,
And that's a sad thing, it's that's one of as a content creator, somebody that had done this for a long time. it's so disheartening how quickly people will go to the other box when you don't show up.
I feel it. I feel it. They got to
like,
feel that.
Fuck, man, I've been here 40 years in that box. I was gone one day. One day. Look at you. All over on that box. Shit. Jeez. One day.
I feel that shit because it's true, though. That shit is true. Motherfuckers is so motherfuckers attention.
It's cold, man. You feel all cold, man. You're like, what happened?
Lonely shit. You go to start your live and it'd be like one person in the fucking chat. You're like, oh man, what's happening? I remember I tell people all the time when I first started doing my lives, and I'm being 100% honest. I'd be like, okay, at least there's one person in the chat, so I'm gonna go in and talk to him. Come to find out, I also have my shit on my phone. That was me in the chat. I was talking about motherfucking self for like 2 weeks, for like the first 20 minutes of my shows. That's why my shows was going so long. I had to wait for people to get here. Like if I did a 20-minute show, it would just be me. So I was like, fuck, I need 3 hours to gather people. So, I mean, that's just the truth though. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my truth. And so, but I didn't let it discourage me. I kept on going and I looked at it like, well, talking to me and it's getting me more comfortable on camera, is getting my flow together, whoopty wop wop. And that's what I paid attention to, was like, well, this is all development. Just like the comedians, they go and do a show at 1 o'clock in the morning for like 5 other comedians and the bartender. They're perfecting their craft. So when they are at that Madison Square Garden, they got their shit done, right? And people always get at me and be like, man, you so comfortable on camera. I'm like, I've been practicing for this. If I can walk inside of someone's living room and take my clothes off to music for an hour, trust me, sitting in front of this shit ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. And that's what I tell everybody, look at your past and look at the shit that you've done and start taking log of that and say, I'm dope at this. I'm dope at that. I'm dope at this. So what kind of show can I put together? What kind of dream can I put together? Because I'm dope at these things. It's like for my show, I was like, I'm good at talking. I can make people laugh. I have the ability to go from funny to serious at the fucking drop of a hat. I can improv very well. I'm good with my audio stuff for all of my sound effects. I can make beats and shit. I'm good with editing, so I can know how to do slice. I'm good with technical shit. I understand the language.
I was jealous of the soundboard and I tried it and it doesn't work so well with the panel.
You know what? It can though.
I did too. 2 reasons. For one, I think they didn't expect a lot of the fucking wah, 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 and shit like that. And 2, I was a little bit stoner on it. You know what I mean? I was like 3-4 seconds too late. I'd be like, oh yeah, oh that good. Oh, it's too late. Or the third scenario, I just went with it and everybody was like, oh, that's a little late.
You're like, so what was that horn for again?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's just the lag. I hit it when you said it was the lag.
Yeah, totally internet bad.
But that's what I did, man. I fucking took inventory of what I felt I was dope at. That's what I be telling motherfuckers, like, man, you better look at yourself and start riding your own dick, start sucking your own titties. Like, fuck that shit. Stop waiting for somebody. Motherfuckers be waiting to go get a job for somebody to tell them they worth. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You should be waking up in the morning saying like, man, I am the dopest motherfucker in the bathroom right now. I'm the only one here, player. Pump yourself the fuck up. And I'm dead serious. It could sound like, ah, that's bullshit. Okay, motherfucker. Keep sitting there with that dormant life of yours smoking weed. Motherfucker, you see me out there happy on jet skis smoking weed because I'm fucking believing in myself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm grateful for the things that I have. And when you're grateful, the universe wants to actually give you more. The universe is just like you as a human. You're an extension of the universe. When you give to someone and they show you appreciation, what do you want to do? Fucking give more. Fucking give more. So why are we not being appreciative of the shit that we motherfucking have? I was talking to my son the other day. We was in the garage. I was vaping. He was just chilling. He 10, so he wasn't smoking. He was chilling. We talking. Excuse me. And I told him, I said, you know what? I want to take a minute and tell you that I'm grateful that you have the life that you have at 10 years old. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, when I was 10 years old, I lived in a 1-bedroom duplex. It was probably like 600-700 square feet. And it was 5 of us. There was no backyard. It was gunshots every day, all night. I lived in the heart of LA in the 80s, 90s. So crackheads everywhere. And I told him, I said, you're 10. And here we are, first of all, standing in a garage, a 2-car garage at that, with storage space. This isn't a floss. This is grateful. Because I'm happy I'm not where I was before. And I told him, I said, when you was young, when you was like a little teeny bopper, we was homeless. We didn't have nowhere to live. I'm like, here we are in a garage. Not just a garage. We got dope ass bikes in here, fucking dirt bikes. Daughter got a fucking Jeep and shit. Standing in front of a studio. All these goddamn lights and fucking cameras back here and shit. We happy. We live on a golf course. I'm grateful as fuck. And what I've realized is the more grateful I am and the more focused I am, it seemed like luck just will keep on happening to a motherfucker. Happiness just keeps on sprinkling itself to a point that I'm getting almost there, that when negativity comes in, it's not strong enough. It's like that movie, Scary Movies. Remember, dude had that little fucked up hand, and it was a guy hanging from the roof, and he tried to give him his fucked up hand. And the guy was like, no, not that one. Give me the other one. And the guy was like, it's not strong enough. And that's how it is to me when it comes to negativity. Almost. I have my days. I have my times. I'm not perfect. But it's almost to that point where it's just not strong enough. So I don't want the, you know what I mean? I got to take the strong hand. God damn. And that's where my shit has gotten to, because I'm just looking at shit as positivity. We be sitting here stressed out over material things that we don't have, right? My wife and I, we was watching The Price is Right this morning, the Bob Barker era. That's what this titled. And all that shit on there ain't worth a goddamn today. And it was people back then who felt less than and wasn't, this and that, because they thought that they didn't have the best thing in the world. As time, everything fucking loses value. Why would I stress out over this fucking bullshit? I ain't about to do that. So I'm just, like I say, I got these positivity goggles on right now. You know what I mean? And I'm watching what's coming out my mouth of how I speak about myself. I'm watching about how I speak about the people and situations around me, the energies around me. I'm watching how I'm speaking on that. I'm not trying to evoke energies that don't serve my purpose. I'm not trying to label myself as something that don't serve my purpose. You know, I gotta make sure that you know me for who I'm supposed to be. Not that you know me from one of my habits. No. When you go in circles, some people will say, hey man, this is Rick. He does construction. This is Tanya. She's a CPA. Right? They talk about what it is you do. Oh, this person is a thoracic surgeon. Right? They don't introduce a motherfucker and be like, yo, this is Johnson. He loves rum. You would feel like an idiot if there was a whole fucking group of people. The only thing they could associate you with is your vice. And that's what I don't want to be. I don't need to be associated with my vice. I'd rather be associated with my advice. Like, fuck that shit. I just made this up. But yeah, that's where I would rather be associated with. That's where I want to be known. I would rather, if I'm being introduced in a circle, motherfuckers say, oh, this is CannaMink. He's a fucking motivational speaker and comedian. He just be, man, that motherfucker crazy. He also be running games. Like, my goal is to run my own motivational seminar. But the motivational seminar is going to be set up like a game show. So I'm still implementing all of my stupid ass games, the hang weed and all that shit. I'm implementing that shit still. So it's like you showing up to the fucking Price is Right with a motivational speaker and a comedian. And then I got music homies that'll come out and do music. Different local artists for whatever city I'm in, shit like that. I got a vision for what I want to do. There's, like I say, there's people counting on me. There's people that need jobs in the cities that I'm going to come and do my thing at. There's people that's going to be getting money off of this shit. There's people who are going to be having life-changing experience from this shit. I can't do it if I'm not able to fund the shit. And just a little bit extra from YouTube to help a motherfucker out. I could have been making like $1,500 a month last year from my content. And I haven't calculated this year's. It ain't a lot, but shit, tell me who couldn't take an extra 12 to 15, motherfucker. Right? Just for doing this shit. You know, having fun, laughing, joking with motherfuckers and shit. That's what you're getting fucking paid to do, getting some chips off of that. That type of money can add up. So I need to move forward so I can fund the purpose that I have.
You know, that was a fucking problem with me too as well. I think you know me well enough that you should know that, you know, I've never done this for the dollar.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? And but I've kind of realized as long as you're doing, and again, back to Napoleon Hill, you know what I mean? As long as you're chasing your purpose, you shouldn't be opposed to something that comes along as, you know what I mean, a side benefit. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of cash to help out and shit.
That's real talk. And I say, you know, it's a question of why shouldn't I be compensated for putting in the effort and work, motherfucker? Like you're here right now. You're putting in the time and work. It ain't like you not here, but you doing a lot. No, but you fucking sitting here. Why shouldn't you be compensated for that shit? And it don't mean that that's what you do it for. Unless Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt, they're not actors for the dollar. The money is a side effect of them being extremely good at what they do. When you go to acting classes, acting school, they do not discuss how much you're supposed to be getting paid. That ain't nowhere in the fucking course. It is all about this is what you need to be doing to become better at your craft. Ain't nobody talking about nobody's motherfucking pay. When you going to be a doctor, a surgeon, they ain't nobody talking about your motherfucking pay. The contract you signed to get to the hospital, nope. They talking about your fucking craft. And all that other shit is a side effect of you being dope at your craft. So I'm not about to sit here and hold myself back to fit into a certain type of creator, content creator, when I know I got fucking mouths to feed. I got beaches to jet ski on. I got shit to do, motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's all about fun and enjoying my life. And so I'm not going to sit there. I can still smoke all the weed I want. Now I ain't got to fucking film it. That's not what made me happy. It was like, oh, I'm really high now because it's on YouTube. That was not the fucking extra terpene in the fucking weed. YouTube, no. YouTubeamine, no. It's not a fucking terpene, goddammit. So I gotta stick with like, no, I need to move forward and where I'm supposed to be who I'm supposed to be for the people who need me to be that.
I appreciate that.
Plain and simple. But look, man, I do got to get out of here, dude. I was supposed to be out like an hour ago, but I told you I like talking to you and shit. So
yeah, I appreciate it.
Seriously, man, I really appreciate you, you know, allowing me to be on your platform for like what, a third or fourth or fifth time or something like that. I fucking really, really appreciate it. And I've told you a million times that you've been somebody who's inspired me to even go live and do the things that I do and to be as consistent as I was through 2022, because I looked at your shit and I was like, damn, this motherfucker said episode 400, motherfucker. What the fuck? Like, that shit was crazy to me. And I admired that shit. And I was like, okay, he's doing it. I'm gonna rock that shit. And I was like, and that's also another reason. I was like, I'm gonna be respectful of the time and I'll do my shit in the morning. He just covers the night. I was like, we need to, I'm one of those type of motherfuckers. Like, in certain days, if I know Wednesdays at 6 o'clock Eastern time that Let's Be Buds is going, I'll avoid doing a live at that time because we got the same people. And I don't be trying to have our people having to make a choice between us. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make it easier and be like, yo, I'll try to go at a time that I know my people not going at. If you're not in my circle, whatever. But for the people that's in my circle, I try to be at a time that others aren't. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that shit is at. But like I say, man, I appreciate you.
Dude, man, I gotta return that right back at you, man. Ever since I've met you, man, I've kind of felt that good vibe. We talked about vibes earlier, and you know what I mean? I would just want to touch back to this earlier because you were talking about negativity and shit. Dr. Wayne Dyer, one of the most powerful things I've ever heard him say, a lot of things I've taken from him, is the fact that, once you realize what you let into your mind manifests itself, you become very on guard on what you let into your mind. So being purposeful about keeping that, negativity out, is part of the manifestation process. And ever since I met you, man, I've appreciated your vibe, the vibe between us. And you've inspired me just as much as any you say I inspired you, whatever. It's been quite you have inspired me in a lot of ways too, not just your positivity, but the way you do things. You've definitely inspired me to pick up my games in a lot of ways. But I have watched your channels, and you've inspired me in a couple of times to reflect in myself. A lot of mornings, like I'm talking about, man, there's been times where I might not have been sitting there or had it on as I was heading out to bed, you know what I mean, laying there falling asleep and shit. And it had a lot of messages that you were trying to send felt like they were hitting home. Even tonight, my friend, a lot of what you discussed tonight was a lot of shit that, if you know me behind the scenes and I've talked to you in the last few weeks, directly, they're probably like, God damn, man, this was meant to be. He needed to hear this shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it does, man. Sometimes you don't know where the message is supposed to hit. You just know it's supposed to get out there. And that's again too another Les Brown quote, man. I listen to a lot. Jim Rohn's another good one. If you don't listen,
definitely.
I was talking to Chuck from the CAO Craft Farms. That was the guy the other night that was on talking about how the RSO, how it saved his liver cancer and stuff like that. And that's another thing I've noticed lately too, is the message of the medical sign is really getting lost to this push for recreational party cannabis.
For real, dude.
And I've seen that, and you know what I mean? And I've kind of that's been my focus lately, is kind of, rearing back and I need to try to drive this message back home. You know what I mean? And he asked me, he's like, how do we get it? How do we do it? You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, we do it, one story at a time, and we get as many stories out there.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And I said, it's a Les Brown thing. You know what I mean? I told him, I'm a Les Brown fan. You ain't got to be great to get started. You just got to get started to be great. I said, we just got to get started and get these messages out. That's how we get started. That's flat out, man. We just got to get started to get the message out, and we'll get the message out. But I appreciate you, brother, 100%. I don't want to hold you up, but man, know the value is, equal. 100%. I definitely have a lot of respect for you. And if you ever want to come do straight up cannabis bullshit, you want to step off your channel for a minute, do some fun cannabis bullshit, you can always come do it over here. Yeah, you can always come here and play. You know that. You know that.
Shit, man. Good looking out, brother, and everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all like a motherfucker.
One last thing before you go, Canna.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think you know what it is. That good old soundbite. This is episode 766, if you will. I'm ready anytime you will, my friend.
Man, I appreciate everybody being here. This is CannaMink. You guys can find a motherfucker over on fucking IG, official CannaMink. Don't go to regular CannaMink. That happy face ain't me, motherfucker. Go to official CannaMink. And that's where I still will be putting cannabis shit there. Like I say, I'm not hiding shit. IG ain't shit to me anyway. And you can also go over to my website, CannaMink.com. It's under construction, but it's still some shit up there anyway. But yeah, that's the deal there, man.
Well, thank you, my friend. I hope we'll be able to talk again soon.
We will.
For the rest of you guys, one last thing I just want to say: the random acts of kindness of doing things. I say that every night, the random acts of kindness thing. But it doesn't have to be that monetary thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be that bucket of chicken, man. It's the act of making some contact, with somebody, true heartfelt. You okay today? Letting somebody, sometimes, man, just letting somebody know that they fucking care can change their life. And with that being said, random acts of kindness do change lives. With that being said, Canna, I'm grateful for this evening, my friend.
Definitely
Talk to you again soon.
Peace out, man.